Welcome to the new RiverCityGamers Podcast, hosted by SCXCR and Unreal 007, as well as many other members from the RiverCityGamers website. Stay tuned for all the gaming news, new pickups, and everything else we feel like talking about on the RiverCityGamers Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the RiverCityGamers Podcast. I am SCXCR.
I am Unreal.
I am Blonde Guy Gamer.
And I am Shadowsnake123.
And debuting on the show tonight, well, okay, I can't do that voice anymore. We actually have something else that we want to address before we really get into the meat of the show, and I'm going to yield the floor to Unreal for this one.
Alright, thanks. Alright, so we are filming this podcast on June 17th, on a Monday. 2 days ago, on Saturday, someone very, very close to me passed away, just unexpectedly. And that man was my father. It hurt a lot inside to just see him go so out of nowhere. Our entire family, and myself included, are going to miss him very, very much. I really don't know what to say other than I'm going to miss you, Dad. I love you, and I just hope that, along with Reggie, our dog that passed away weeks ago, I hope he's up there with you, having fun like usual. Just rest in peace, and I promise that I will make you proud, Dad. We'll all be there for you. So, guys, I would like a moment of silence for this. Alright, that'll do. Thank you very much. Now, on lighter things, why the hell did we sound like those stupid voicemails in the beginning?
I don't know.
I thought we were just going for like a Masterpiece Theater kind of vibe.
I don't even know what that is.
You think I actually plan any of this?
Well, yeah.
Host.
We're just going to do some light news real quick and then go straight into E3 because that's been what most of the news has been lately.
Gaming news, so real.
I just have like a few things to note, and then Blondie, I believe you have something. Then we'll just go for our pickups, and then we'll talk about E3. A few days ago, the illustrator from Secret of Mana and the Seiken Densetsu series, Hiro Isono, he passed away. He was 68. He was just an amazing artist. I mean, his work was so... There was just such a unique style to it. It was really colorful and bright, and I'm gonna miss that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I only have Secret of Mana on the virtual console, but I do have the first Densetsu game, which was Final Fantasy Adventure, I believe, on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
That was also done by him, and yeah, it was definitely a very good art style, especially Secret of Mana. That game, really, really bright, colorful graphics on the Super Nintendo. And yeah, he will be missed, but his work will live on, obviously.
Yes, he will be missed, just like people at IO Interactive are missing their jobs.
Oh.
Because just recently, IO Interactive had half of their staff laid off. And the staff that is left is going to be working towards the next Hitman title. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hitman Absolution actually sell somewhat well?
Well, I heard it was received well, at least, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like one of the few games that actually, went past their sales expectations. Or I could, be thinking of another game, because I do know with their other games they expected like ridiculous like sales or whatever, but I think with Hitman they just were like, just hope it sells well or something, and then went past their expectations.
The data that I've seen has indicated that it sold over 3 million units, just a rough estimation. And Apparently that's still not enough.
Just can't get enough.
AAA game market. That's what it is now. Great. Anyway, enough about games that apparently over 3 million people have, but it's not enough to save people's jobs.
Yeah, there's actually something I just want to quickly mention too, is if you know of the Neverhood, you know, the claymation claymation adventure game that I actually found not too long ago it was a really lucky find, and it's a cult classic among adventure gamers. Now, Doug Snapple, who worked on that game and Earthworm Jim beforehand, he's actually started up a spiritual successor for that game, along with the other creators of the Neverhood. It's going to be called Armacrog, and it's going to be with his new studio, Pencil Test Studios. Now, the thing is, there's actually an ongoing Kickstarter for it that started at the end of May, around the end of May, and it's still going. There's 9 days left. The only problem is that they have a pledge of $900,000, but they haven't quite reached that just yet. They're only at like $560,000. So it's hard to say whether or not this will go through because of that Kickstarter, but I still would hope that even with that amount, they could still at least, you know, keep it going, and eventually it'll come out, because I really like the Neverhood, and I would love to see this new spiritual successor come through into fruition. And if I had the money, I would actually back this up, but in any case, it's still something that I at least look forward to. And if you want to take part in this Kickstarter, like I said, it's still going, so, you know, any little bit could still help.
Okay, well, on to our recent pickups, and we will go in reverse alphabetical order, but we're going to start in the middle of the alphabet, and by middle of the alphabet, I mean me. And this is going to be very quick, because I only have 2 games.
Oh boy!
One is a new game, and one is a not-so-new game. Just recently, like a couple days ago, I picked up The Last of Us on PS3. I've played it for a few hours, I'm having fun with it, and I'm really loving the story so far. And the other game that I got is another primarily story-driven game, and it's one I've been meaning to get, but I keep forgetting to get. Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4.
Woohoo!
And yes, I have the soundtrack with it. And I believe that does it for me, so next in line, Shadow.
I'm not sure if this is all of the collection, but let me start with a really, really old classic called Evil Zone. I think you're all familiar with it.
You're kind of stretching the term classic.
By classic, I meant Comedy Gold. Let's see, Fatal Frame 2 for PS2. Let's see, Retro Game Challenge, because I love the show Gaming Center CX, and I started watching it
And because I bought it during Anime North.
Yeah, I figured I might as well get it. And I played a little bit of it. I'm actually liking it. I don't regret it. Grim Grimoire. Let's see, for Wii U, Resident Evil Revelations. Still haven't touched it yet, but I like it on 3DS. There's no doubt I will like it on the Wii U. Let's see, I got this obscure RPG from Atlas called Stella Deus, The Gate of Eternity. Looks to be...
that definitely sounds obscure.
Yeah.
The art style reminds me a bit of the of Shin Megami Tensei. That's the only reason I got it. I still need to try it, but I'll let you guys know how it is. Suikoden Tactics, which is by Konami, so why not? And the last game I got, which is another Konami game, Lifeline Voice Action Adventure.
Yeah.
Wow, you suck.
Are you just getting all the games that SCR is reviewing, or
Oh my god, he did Bug Island.
Or tried to review?
It was cheap on eBay, so I figured why not?
Not cheap enough? Question.
This is like $10.
$10?
I think you got it cheaper, but...
You paid like more than 3 times what I did for it.
Oh dear Lord, how much did you pay for it?
$3.
Why isn't that a $5 gaming?
Well, because I have to do something for SC on.
Make it like a double thing.
No.
Ension and $5 gaming, Lifeline, the voice action adventure. Anyway, that's it for me.
Alright, well, Unreal?
Okay. Not many games, but that's kind of expected. A lot of my money was because spent at Anime North, so it will not be as big as last podcast. So along with SCR, around launch day, I got The Last of Us, which I cleared, was really good, and same day I picked up Animal Crossing New Leaf for the 3DS. I have not played an Animal Crossing game before, so this is kind of a first time for me. And I'm pretty sure I didn't mention it previous podcast because I didn't get it then, but I also got the Wii U version of Resident Evil Revelations. That's not all. I took advantage of one of the Humble Weekly bundles and got a shit ton of Serious Sam games. Let me list what was in it. Serious Sam Double D, the First Encounter HD, the Second Encounter HD, the Random Encounter, Serious Sam 2, Serious Sam 3, and it also came with Serious Sam Kamikaze Attack, Public Demo 2, and the Random Encounter. And I'm not done yet. The deluxe edition of Serious Sam 3 came with the non-HD version of the First and Second Encounter.
Should we just call it the Serious Sam Ultimate Collection?
We'll just say, you paid $5 for all the Serious Sam games. Be happy. I don't think I could run 3, though. I'm pretty sure I could run maybe everything else, except maybe the HD ones. We'll see. I haven't tried it yet, because I'm trying not to use this laptop for gaming that much. I'd rather get a desktop for that. Oh, and I guess I should just mention that in discussion, but whatever. That's all I got.
Okay, I guess that just leaves me for recent pickups then, right?
Yep.
Okay, this is going to be mostly for games that I picked up back at Anime North. So in Anime North, I got this one game for the NES that I pretty much, it was only $5 when I bought it, just purely based on the cover, and that was Dino Wars, I believe it's called, with the Z, because 80s, 90s. I actually did play a little bit of it, and it's not as cool as the cover, I'll just say that. Because the cover shows like a guy shooting a laser through like a giant alien T-Rex or whatever. I also found a Sega CD game there, and that is Star Wars Rebel Assault, the first one for the Sega CD. Because I have the second one on PlayStation, and I actually found the first one on Sega CD. And it's harder than the second one, because the first level is literally the impossible tutorial level, practically, if you don't know how to fly the ships correctly in that F&B sequence. I also got... Well, there's actually a funny story to this game. While we were at the one vendor, and we were browsing through the games, I believe USCR found a copy of Bloody War 3 for like $10. But before I could even say a single word, Zero pretty much went and sniped it. And I'm just like, dude, don't you already have the game? And of course, this was back when he said he thought his copy of Bloody War 3 it didn't work because of a misunderstanding. So instead of getting that, I ended up getting Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future for the Dreamcast. Although the good news is that Zero, I think, did say he would give me Bloody War 3 since his copy still works or whatever. But in any case, Echo the Dolphin, I guess, in the meantime. I'm trying to remember what else I got it. at Anime North. Oh, right. I also picked up, for the Xbox, Avid Rising. I figured I might as well get at least the Xbox version, since I now have an original Xbox that can actually play games from the Xbox that aren't compatible with 360.
And then it glitches out.
Well, it's Avid Rising, that's a given. And Zero also gave me Aliens Infestation for the DS, which is actually a 2D Metroid-ish Aliens game, 2D Aliens game that was made by WayForward. So, needless to say, it's a lot better than Colonial Marines.
I actually heard some good things about that game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It definitely seems like an okay game. And in terms of like video game swag, I also picked up the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia book, which is a very nice book on Legend of Zelda games, as well as the Monster Hunter 4 little notepad that CR gave me. And in terms of like downloadable games, there are a few. Thanks to Angel Halo, he gifted me Payday the Heist from Steam, and I did play a couple levels with him in SCR. Doesn't run the best on my computer, but I can still at least kind of play it, and it seems fun enough, except for that street level. And quite a while ago, I downloaded just a couple games off of the Xbox Live Arcade and Virtual Console. One was Jetpack Refueled, which is sort of like which was a modernized version of the Jetpack game from Rare, and you can play the new and the old ZX Spectrum game too on that version. And on the Virtual Console, on the Wii Virtual Console, mind you, I downloaded, I believe it was Gate of Thunder. It's basically a TurboGrafx CD game, and I figured I had leftover points. I might as well download that since I don't have the CD add-on for the TurboGrafx or the Turbo Duo with the CD, or even finding any TurboGrafx CD games too, for that matter. So it's just like, well, I might as well download that too. And that should be it for my pickups, that I can remember anyway. Oh wait, now I just remember something else. Sorry, I seem to jinx myself quite often with this. I also downloaded the Tekken Revolution.
Oh, I forgot to mention that too.
Yeah, it's basically the free-to-play Tekken on PS3, and I just downloaded for the hell of it, just to try it out a little bit.
Mind if I say something about it?
Sure.
It was actually it's actually handled a lot differently than I expected. To me, it's handled like kind of like a bit like an MMORPG fighting game, because there's like RPG elements towards it. The thing is, though, I have a feeling you can at least still play every time you put it on, like at least once a day. But it's like you can't just play like for hours, because I think your number of times is very limited. But if you want, you have to like pay for it or something. But if you just like give it a rest or whatever, you're at least bound to at least play it.
Yeah, it's basically a pretty standard free-to-play model type of game.
Yeah, I gotta say it's at least better handled than what we can say about something else we'll mention a little bit later. But aside from that, moving on.
Okay, well, while we're talking about forgetting things, I forgot that I also got that Serious Sam bundle. But enough about that. E3!
Yeah, that was a thing.
Oh boy.
Favorite time of the year.
Now, actually, now that I think about it, should we even bother bringing up Konami's thing from before E3?
No.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing.
They only talked about 3 games.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was Mega 64, doing one of those 3 games.
I guess that was something, but not something we were looking for.
Oh well.
You mean you don't love trailers for games that drag on forever and ever and show most of the game in the trailer?
They didn't show, like, well, you're talking about Lords of Shadow 2. I mean, I still look forward to Lords of Shadow 2, if only because I actually liked Lords of Shadow 1. But, yeah, I'll admit that trailer kind of went on for quite a while. It's it felt like filler to fill out the half-hour pre-E3 Konami thing. They just showed off mostly just cutscenes and like dramatic angles and stuff with dramatic music. So it's
actually more concerning.
They didn't really show a lot of the gameplay anyway, so it's still something that I'm still interested in. Sorry?
Isn't it confirmed to be released this year?
I'm not sure about that. A lot of stuff's being released in 2014 anyway, so...
Okay,
but they also showed, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 and, like, Pro Evolution Soccer, but that was about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Quite frankly, we spent more time on Konami than we should have. Moving on.
So, first conference that happened was Microsoft.
Yay.
Our favorite company.
They at least showed games this time.
I'll say this right now. This may be surprising. Microsoft's conference was good. If you look at it from a presentation standpoint,
it wasn't bad.
They showed games and stuff for E3, and in general, it was just a good conference. It was much better than their Xbox One reveal, and it was much better than their previous E3 shows.
Yeah, this is actually probably one of the better E3s Microsoft has done.
Besides that, though, oh man, we'll get to that.
So how about the games? What games did they show?
Well, the very first thing they showed was Metal Gear Solid 5, which they showed much more than Konami, because all Konami did was reveal Kiefer Sutherland as Snake. By the way, that's the new Snake.
Yeah,
Jack Bauer. But they showed gameplay at Microsoft thing with a lot of, like, during the trailer and stuff. It looks really good, actually. Except I'm not going to get over the fact that stealthing on a horse.
That was really stupid.
Well, it's Metal Gear Solid. There's bound to be some ridiculous things like that.
Like that kid that looks like a Final Fantasy character.
Okay, what? Yeah, they basically just showed off Metal Gear Solid 5, which, yeah, it's going to be on the Xbox One as well, so...
It's going to be on the Xbox One, the PS4, the PS3, the 360, the PC.
Yeah.
Everything except Wii U.
Well, it's not going to be on mobile.
Alright. So what did they show after Metal Gear Solid 5?
That's a good question. I'm just going by memory on this.
I mean, we could just mention, like, just the games that was shown. We don't have to... Just
it was mostly games, so that's what I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I think I know World of Tanks, Xbox 360 edition was it.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, hey, you can play on the 360 if you haven't played on the PC before, I guess.
Yeah. Insomniac basically showed off like their newest game, which instead of being published by EA, it's being published by Microsoft.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that feeling that the same fate's going to happen towards that game like it did with, Overstrike, which is now known as Fuse.
Microsoft's not really known to, like, be that drastic with changing their games like that, at least. I mean, at least Microsoft's... I mean, if the Rare games are any indication, Microsoft's pretty open to, like, more creatively looking games, even if they don't sell a whole lot. And speaking of Rare...
oh, God.
Yeah...
Coming soon to your home console, only on Xbox One. It's a shitty game known as Killer Instinct.
Yes, they finally actually made a Killer Instinct after since 96. It's been 17 years or something like that since the last Killer Instinct game.
But
that's great news and all, but
there's a reason why I said shitty game in that sentence, and oh boy. I haven't been this mad. There's a lot of people that are mad. But, let's put it this way. Rare really isn't developing the game. Instead, let's take the fucking developers who made Battleship, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, fucking Silent Hill Homecoming and all those bad games
So
fucking make Killer Instinct.
the Double Helix game. That's
Why?
I don't know why, because well, maybe I think Rare is too busy with the new Sports Connect game, which they're making another one. But the thing is, it's being co-developed, but I think it's really more of like them making the game and Rare providing the assets, basically. But the thing is, with this game, it's like, when being developed by them, it's like, yeah, why? Because they never made a fighting game before. And the best game they made was Silent Hill Homecoming, which, from the Silent Hill series standpoint, is
Not that good.
not that good. Yeah. When I found out about that, because I have both Killer Instinct games, I like the series. And it's like, oh, they actually did. I mean, too bad I still don't really want the console, but at least it's there. Then I found out, oh, it's being made by Double Helix. Well, that's one knee shot. It's like, oh, great. But what pretty much shot the other knee is that apparently this game's going to be free to play, but not in a really good way.
Not as good as Tekken Revolution, if that's what you're saying.
So, what they're saying is the only playable character from the start is Jago, and you have to pay for the other characters.
I'll be like doing mirror matches over and over again.
Let's pay for all this shit. Yeah, the thing is, though, I've looked into this. Apparently what they're doing is they're basically starting out for that you can start out as Jago and play through the entire game as Jago if you want. But if you want the other characters, you can either you can either pick and choose what you want to buy if you want to play as them, or you can just buy a season pass and just buy the whole thing. Now, I just have one small little question. Why?
Why do you use the turbo powers? Sorry.
And the thing is, what is wrong with making that game retail? I mean, it's going to be a launch game on the Xbox One, and people were actually going to be willing to get an Xbox One just to play the new Killer Instinct, but you pretty much killed off a lot of people's motivation to get it by doing something like that and then making it free to play. What's wrong with making just a retail version of the game and then having a demo where you just play a part of the game as Jago? Why make this model of like saying, oh, you can play this entire game as Jago to ease new players in, which, by the way, it's going to be pretty streamlined from the looks of it. So you can just mash and just pull off combos and stuff, but whatever. That's just Double Helix and making the game more mainstream, I guess, but whatever.
Can I mention a specific person that actually played the game at E3? He basically called it Killer Instinct on easy mode.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be dumbed down anyway. But it's still, at least the look of the game, and even though it's sort of going for like a Street Fighter 4 kind of look to it, sort of, or stylized look to it, it still looks, and it looks like it plays decently at least. But the fact it's being developed by Double Helix, the fact it's going to be on the Xbox One as a launch exclusive, the fact it's going to be like a really bad free-to-play model, pretty much killed it off entirely for me, no pun intended.
I actually heard, alright, I briefly looked at something DM Jared did, because he actually got to physically play it.
That's what
he mentioned that he button mashed the whole thing and did well, which Killer Instinct is not known for, so something's already wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the old Killer Instincts, I'll admit, I do kind of mash. Well, I always sort of mash in fighting games anyway, but at least I do try and pull off stuff in those games. And for the most part, I can. So it's like, yeah, there's not much skill involved if the game is just pretty much stuck on that difficulty setting or whatever. And it'll just be like people comboing back and forth until someone dies. But I could go on for hours about Killer Instinct and what they did wrong and just why. I mean, they brought it back in like almost the worst way possible. But what else did they show for the Xbox One?
I have to say something about Killer Instinct real quick before we move on.
All right.
Yeah.
To your point about having like a demo version and a retail version, the free-to-play thing pretty much is the demo version when you get it at first. And the paying for individual characters thing pisses me off, but I'm not going to get too angry about it until I see what they're actually pricing stuff as.
Yeah.
Like the individual characters versus the season pass, which is basically a retail version, except you have to download some shit later.
I know, that's why I basically said, why not just make a retail version? And I understand doing the free-to-play thing to make it sort of like an extended demo of the game, but it's still just like, why?
I honestly thought it was done a lot better in Second Revolution.
But the thing, I don't know if it's just me that's thinking this, but I looked at like the footage that they showed of the people playing the game, and it just looked too much like Street Fighter 4 to me. That feeling like I've seen this before.
Yeah, you
like
think
the
they would
art
go
style, the way the characters move, the way that the game seems to like stop for a split second when you land a hit.
Like, do you think the game like should have like, in terms of like being an actual, how do I word this? Do you think it should have probably go for a more Mortal Kombat 9 look in a sense?
That's what I would imagine the game would have been aiming more towards, because the original Killer Instinct had, even though its main premise that it was being able to pull off combos and stuff, you still had like fatalities and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So yeah, I would have to say, quote unquote, it should have gone for a more realistic look, but I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the first two weren't that realistic looking to begin with, but yeah, I do know what you mean. Mm-hmm. If it sort of retains that look, and this one's a little bit different, trying to be Street Fighter 4-ish from the looks of it.
Yeah. It's like, I had this mindset, it's like, I think like a group of people can probably just make like a Street Fighter 4 mod for PC and just decorate all the characters like of Killer Instinct, and it'll probably be, a lot more enjoyable than probably what we have with this on Xbox One.
Yeah. There was a new Crytek game, Ryse.
No. That, yeah.
There was good news and bad news. Alright, I want to start with the good news. I originally remember Ryse being announced as a Kinect title. And I was just like, what the fuck? I don't care about this. But when they showed it at E3 this year, there was no Kinect type of, like Ryse wasn't using the Kinect. The guy was using a controller, which was like, oh, so they dropped the stupid Kinect thing and changed it into like a controller thing. That's nice. Then the QuickTime event started. Every fucking second.
And they never stopped.
Yeah.
It's literally QuickTime event the game. It's like, okay, yes, Heavy Rain is guilty of this, but at least, it had like a really intriguing story to go along with it. But it's like,
this is an action game.
Yeah. Congratulations, Ryse. You have the gameplay equivalent of a shitty Sega CD game.
Yeah, basically what happened was that whenever you do an attack, a literal button prompt would appear above an enemy's head, and it's like just one of the main 4 buttons. You just press it, and then you do like a cool looking move to kill someone. It's like, yeah, it looks cool, but when it comes to playing the game, you're basically just playing like one of those like memory games or whatever.
It gets worse.
By the way, a friend of mine actually told me about this game. Like, apparently, if you actually fail the QuickTime event, you don't get punished for it. It's like if you actually correctly do the inputs, you'll just do a more stylish kill. But if you just fail, you'll just simply kill them, but just not in a very fashionable way. So yeah, either way, I heard that no matter what you do, you're just gonna progress. So
because they don't want the player to feel frustrated.
Yes.
We want the idiot crowd.
Ryse is actually a movie, and then we just threw some button prompts over it.
Yeah, it looks cool, but that's about it.
You can have the great looks all you want, but if your gameplay is just not that great,
You might just make it an interactive movie at that point.
I think it would probably have more fun reading a visual novel than play that at this point.
Yeah. Oh, what else did they show? I'm just trying to...
There's a new Dead Rising.
Oh, God. Oh.
Dead Rising 3.
Can Betrayal be a bigger fucking thing to say now?
Well, other than the sort of the drab, hey, Walking Dead is popular setting, it still looks like it retains most of the gameplay elements from the first two.
Yeah.
They've said that the game is more serious, and that's where you just lost me.
A more serious Dead Rising game, where you can call in artillery strikes.
And where you
the smart glass technology, because apparently that's the future of gaming, according to Microsoft.
Oh yeah, you know what I would love to do in that game? Go in that serious like location with a dress.
I mean, it might still
I can
have
do
like
that.
little funny things here and there from the two games, but yeah, it still looks like it's going to be a little bit more serious at least.
I'm not excited. I'm just kind of pissed.
I mean, you still got stuff like combining weapons and stuff. That's kind of cool, but hopefully it's just a time exclusive too.
Yeah,
It's because the reason I think it's going to be exclusive because I think Microsoft is actually funding the game. Yeah, for Capcom.
well, I'm not sure.
Well, the first Dead Rising was Xbox 360 exclusive, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it also ported to Wii?
Well, yeah, but that was more like
That wasn't a good port.
its own sort of butchered version.
I don't even think we need to... Actually, no, they didn't show that game there. Never mind.
They showed some weird indie games that I don't remember what.
Oh yeah, the one where I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so zoomed out, you had no idea what was going on.
It basically looked like a 2D version of Journey, but like zoomed out.
What was that
Like,
one
hey,
game?
hey, Journey was popular on PS3. Let's make our own sort of indie-ish game.
Right. I mean, what was the deal with that game that you could just draw a bunch of stuff and decorate your own land or whatever, spark something?
I don't know. It was something.
Oh, Project Spark.
Yeah, it was basically just showing off, like, again, the smart glass technology thing where you could, like, do stuff and adjust and, like, edit the terrain and do all sorts of stuff. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's like, not everyone can even afford a smart glass compatible device, guys. You might want to stop assuming that all gamers have, like, millions of dollars and can afford all these things to do all these cool things for games,
Yeah, they also showed a Forza game.
Yeah, where they brought a giant car on stage.
Oh, my favorite part of that demo was the guy saying, "These cars drive like actual people," and then one of them slams into the other.
So basically they're basically taking, like, computer AI drivers and replacing them with, like, supposedly other drivatars. Is what they're going for, it seems like.
If you paid attention to the rear view mirror, shit disappeared really quick. Xbox One can't even fucking handle that shit.
Gotta keep up the frame rate.
You're expecting to, like, have a new powerful console, and you're not really showing that by doing that shit. I mean, it's subtle, but you can notice it, and it's kind of just, oh god. Let's see what else they had. Oh, the Quantum Break by Remedy. The one with the
Oh,
that woman's face.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of the uncanny valley in this game.
doesn't it like have to deal with like time freezing and all that other
Yeah,
shit?
Combining it with a TV show type of thing.
Yeah. It's made by the same guys who did the Max Payne and Alan Wake games, I think. So, it looks interesting at least.
Yeah,
Too bad it's exclusive to Xbox One.
I'm intrigued for new ideas, but Xbox One.
Xbox One.
When I think of
Oh.
like, new ideas for games, I don't mean like a TV show connected to the game.
Yeah, you're right.
But Xbox One's the TV console.
TV Puppet Pals. We don't really like Xbox One.
They showed a teaser trailer for a new Halo.
Yeah.
That was
Master Chief is in a row.
That was a pretty dumb teaser. I won't hide.
Yeah, it's like
Because it was like trying to be all like, I don't know, ominous, mysterious with like being in a desert and you see this rope guy and then this giant thing comes out of the sand, but then you realize,
oh shit, it's Chief. Arrest this man right now.
but then the rope literally comes off and you see his helmet and all that. It's just like, what? Why was he even wearing a robe in the first place?
Does he even need to wear a robe? Like, why?
To hide himself? I don't know.
Does this make any sense in like the Halo universe?
I don't know.
I don't know. They wanted to just do a dramatic reveal, I guess. They also showed this one game called Titanfall, which looks like a pretty interesting first-person shooter. Who's making that game again? I believe it was like from ex-developers of like Call of Duty or something like that.
That actually doesn't look that bad, but apparently it's Microsoft exclusive. It's not just going to be on Xbox One. It's going to be on 360 and apparently PC.
Oh yeah, just play the PC.
So it's not an Xbox One exclusive.
Now I know why Don Matrick said if you don't want to be online, just get a 360. Everything's going there anyway.
Except for like Killer Instinct Dead Rising 3.
No one cares.
Yeah.
You just die off.
Oh, do we want to talk about Witcher 3?
It'll be on PC, so.
Yeah, but there's a catch to this.
Oh yeah, I know where this is going. Go on.
The Xbox One is going to be released in 21 countries to start out with, one of them not being Poland, where the developers of The Witcher 3 are.
Yeah, my friend told me about this, and when I first heard it, I was like, oh my god, so the developers of this game are getting screwed over?
They can get it on PC.
Well, yeah, I mean, the game's gonna be sold more on PC anyway, because Witcher has always been more of a PC-oriented series anyway.
Yeah, besides, you can get the enhanced edition of Witcher 2 on PC anyways, or unless you don't have a good PC, which I can understand that, I guess could still 360.
Or you can get it on PS4.
But we're not done with Microsoft. There were a couple other games that we missed. A new Sweary 65 game. The guy that made Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
Oh, D4?
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with the D games. So if you're familiar with like D2, so no, it's not.
Yeah, there was never a D3. Unless you count that Mighty Ducks movie.
Oh my god. How could we forget? Probably the biggest blunder of maybe the Microsoft conference.
There was another smaller blunder before that big blunder.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the smaller one?
That was
Crimson Dragon.
Yes.
Oh.
That's basically the Kinect game that plays pretty much like the Panzer Dragoon games.
It's made by the same guy.
So yeah.
And throughout the whole thing, there was no sound.
Yeah. But it gets even better with the next one.
So, typical EA fashion, let's show the next Battlefield games. Alright? That seems standard. They're going to show more Battlefield 4. Then, everything fucking messed up. What happened? No audio happened again. And then, during that, the presentation just stopped.
Yeah, the video wasn't playing anymore. Like, they couldn't play the video again for a little while.
Yeah, and so the guy on stage was just standing there, and you could sort of hear, like, asshole remarks coming from the audience. And as much as I really kind of don't like EA, I gotta give that guy props for sort of keeping it cool and professional, just being up there, because, trust me, if I was up on stage with that happening, I probably would have freaked. But still, that was a disaster. It got to the point where the guy, like, thought that it wouldn't show, and he just said, we'll show it later.
Yeah, he was starting to walk backstage, and then they told him to just stay out there.
And it's like, wait, we're continuing? It eventually started, and then...
Yeah,
and it's Battlefield 4, so yeah, we don't even care of the actual presentation.
It's just when we saw that, we just ended up laughing so hard, oh god.
I was laughing so hard that I didn't realize some of the button cues on the game were for a PC and not like an Xbox.
Yeah, they showed PC footage. When Microsoft says, oh, it was Xbox One, but no, it wasn't. They were playing PC footage using an Xbox One controller. Oops.
Maybe that's just to show up, hey, you can still use your controllers for PC games.
Yeah, well, still completely lying.
Yeah, I got something called the Logitech gamepad, which I paid less than $30 for, which is probably, God knows how much these controllers are gonna cost.
So, yeah, the Titanfall was the last thing they showed, and that was, I think we went over every game they showed during their conference. So, let's get to the bigger news about the Xbox One. $499 US.
Yeah, and it comes forcibly bundled with the Kinect 2 and other stuff.
It's a box full of DRM and always online procedures.
And use game restrictions, don't forget that.
That's what the always online DRM thing is, dude. Use game restrictions. So, $500 for something that punishes you for playing games? Alright.
$500 for a console that has those problems, and it has only maybe one or two games that I would even remotely want to at least try out. But then one of those games have problems to begin with anyway, so it's like, no.
I really don't have much of a strong incentive to even want to purchase an Xbox One. I mean, it also doesn't help the fact that, I'll be flat out honest, I think the 360 has actually been like one of the consoles I've been neglecting to play because it's like, I really don't have much motivation to play it.
I mean, I have quite a few games for the system. I still like the 360, but this new one is just, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I will never sell my 360 because I have some exclusive games that I would...
And then they shut down 360 online like they did with the original Xbox.
Well, I wasn't referring to online play, but, single player wise. Like Tales of Vesperia and Devil May Cry 4. Those are like my top 2 reasons I keep the system.
Even though Devil May Cry
Even though they're both on PS3.
Well, in North America, you can only get Tales of Vesperia on 360.
Yeah.
Oh, so that didn't come over here?
No.
Okay, Namco sucks. Next.
Can I just nail like a few footnotes about the Xbox One in general?
All
and then we'll move on.
What's that?
Number one, they said that they're going to discontinue the point system and instead just switch over to currency once the Xbox One goes live. And I think we forgot, they did announce a new version of the 360 at that conference.
Oh,
yeah. I was going to bring that up.
The mini 360, practically.
4 gigabytes.
And they're like doing something like similar to what PSN does.
Oh yeah, they have that thing where Xbox Live subscribers can get some free games. Starting today, you can get Halo 3 and Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Because you don't already have those, right?
Yeah, everybody doesn't already have Halo 3. Because it's not like it's one of the main games people will get a 360 for, most people anyway.
Hold on, when did Assassin's Creed 2 come out?
Like 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can get
Halo
that.
3 was like 2007, I think.
Yeah, and you can get Assassin's Creed 2 in like...
Well, in the Ezio trilogy on PS3.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to mention, yeah. Get like in the trilogy. Or whatever. But, yeah, and also like your gold subscription will carry over on your assigned accounts. I guess that's sort of useful if you have like siblings and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Like if my brother wanted to play something on mine, he could still use my gold subscription basically to play online. But yeah, that's like stretching pretty thin on positive things to say about the system at this point.
Yeah.
We should mention Phil Spencer has too many goddamn shirts.
I hate his face so fucking much.
He has a very punchable face.
It's
Perfect
like,
for Microsoft.
So, do we have a new face for your punching bag, SDR?
Yes, I do. Actually, I'm just going to take this moment to give some advice to Microsoft. To avoid PR disasters in the future, Don Matrick, Phil Spencer, Major Nelson, fire them. And if you can't fire them, do not let them talk to the press. At all. They are not helping your cause.
So, they're practically doomed.
They still
it's going to be sad that people are going to still buy Xbox
They just made it
One.
a huge uphill battle.
Yeah.
That was Microsoft. Let's go on to the conference that happened a little bit after. EA. So, they showed games, too.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, they basically just showed off the games you would kind of sort of expect. At the same time, it's like, here are a few little things that...
Like, there was Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Yeah, that actually looks... I have played the first Plants vs. Zombies, and that game actually looks pretty fun. It seems to retain the
Yeah, a lot of people really like that showing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they also announced the same guy from what was it, Poppin' Games or something?
Oh my god, that...
PopCap.
You want me to mention this one? Because it's okay, so after showing that game, I think a little bit after, it was so brief, but he jumped in the air with his fist announcing Peggle 2 and then went off stage. That was it!
Yeah, and then the Ode to Joy music came out that Peggle's known for.
Yeah!
Peggle 2, yeah! And then he's gone.
Let's see. They also showed more Battlefield 4, of course.
Yeah, they
And
showed multiplayer.
Yeah, they showed like a whole building collapsing, which
9/11, never forget.
oh, whatever. I think one of the best things about the EA conference was they showed, or at least they announced and showed a little bit of Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah, that made me happy.
Yeah, except it wasn't called Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah, and they gave it's a reboot. Which, how do you reboot after one game? How?
Well,
I don't.
Well, if it's like 5 years old, you might as well reboot it.
Well, according to DICE, they still said it's going to be it's not going to be fully focused on shooting or anything. So they're going to keep the focus of Mirror's Edge in there, which is
it looks like it still retains the similar look of Mirror's Edge, which is good.
I mean, if this is a reboot, it already looks to be a competent reboot.
Yeah. I'm just wondering why a reboot. I that's something I'm just not gonna understand.
Well, at the very least, it's still another Mirror's Edge game that we've kind of been waiting for a sequel for a little while.
Oh, yeah,
And probably the biggest punch with that trailer, though, coming when it's done. They gave us a Duke Nukem Forever timestamp for that game. I kind of cried.
Mirror's Edge Forever.
Oh man.
Well, we can only hope that it will come out.
Okay, we should also mention this, they also teased a new Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep, because EA has the license now.
Yeah, it's going to be made by DICE, I believe.
Yep.
The thing Battlefield with Star Wars skins, probably.
On the Frostbite engine, no less.
One other thing EA showed was, I think, a dev diary on Titanfall, which is what you think it is, a dev diary.
Oh,
They also showed Dragon Age.
Yeah, they did.
I forgot that
I could
existed.
care less.
I couldn't care.
Well, I haven't played the games, but as long as it's not as bad as 2, it should be okay.
Then there's another Need for Speed game.
Yeah, because there hasn't been like 50 in the past 5 years.
I still can't
How
get
much
over
do
how
you need the speed?
I don't know, enough to give me the runs like the previous game.
That's what I was going to mention. It's like I still can't get over how stupid the Need for Speed the run was.
Let's leave the car. Then when sports happened.
Well, yeah, it was a given.
So, what was with the dribbling physics? I assume Busta Rhymes came out and did something. I don't understand.
They were showing off like a new, I guess, engine.
Yeah, it was
called like Dribble Tech or some shit like that, where it's like, ooh, the ball can dribble dynamically now. It's like, okay, great.
Okay, this is giving me NBA Baller Beats flashbacks. Move on.
I think, was that all from EA?
No, Drake came out. I don't know why. So, in terms of just sports games, there's NBA Live, there's an MMA thing, Madden again.
Yeah, the usual sports games.
There's FIFA. There was something absurd
Can
about...
I say something about Madden real quick?
Go ahead.
They're calling it NFL 25?
Because it's been 25 years?
Yeah, I get why they're doing that, but it's still dumb.
I still think...
What are they gonna call the Madden game when it went by like 2024 then?
Yeah, that's my point.
Neo Tokyo Madden.
And NFL 25. No, really, we're serious this time.
Blurns Ball 2025.
I still think one of the most absurd things was the guys talk about MMA during that conference on the on stage. And just like, what the fuck? Like,
They got endorsed it, man.
I forget what they said, but they said something about, like, it was some dumb shit about, I think they mentioned something about how humans were meant to fight. That was what they said. Like, humans were meant to fight each other. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Because they did a brief, like, history of fighting, like, the oldest sport and all that stuff.
It was the first sport. That was what they said.
Yeah, it's the first time man punched someone else. That's when the sport was invented.
Yeah, spring break. So yeah, that was EA. We basically went through all of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a lot more to say about Microsoft, obviously, but so let's move on to Ubisoft.
I missed all of this except the last 5 seconds, because I was at work.
Okay, I'll be responsible then. So
I've seen it too.
they basically started the conference by bringing the guitarist for Alice in Chains out to play guitar, advertising the new Rocksmith game. I'm still confused why you needed another Rocksmith, but I don't know.
But yeah, that's gonna be a thing. It's like Rocksmith 2014 or something like that, edition or some shit like that.
So after that, you remember the host from last year's Ubisoft?
The unfunny comedian.
Well, that black woman, I don't know her name. She's back again. This time with a shirt that says #Girlwood. I don't know.
Because that's what she said last year, I believe.
Alright, so with games, they showed a bit of Blacklist. Not really, it was like a trailer or something. I don't even think they showed gameplay, actually. Just the new Splinter Cell, because no one's gonna care. Yeah, I think it was just some sort of trailer.
They showed some more about Rayman Legends.
Yep. With like a CG trailer and I think a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I remember the trailer more.
Yeah, game looks good. That's being released on like one of the worst days ever to be released with other games.
Funny that you bring it up, because I'm not sure if they changed the release date or not, but I'll bring that up later.
Okay.
It applies to something else, but yeah, they showed a little bit more of Rayman, which is nice. Then there was something called the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot.
Yeah, it was just trying to be like a humorous sort of like, I guess,
Diablo.
or yeah, dungeon crawler-ish type game.
Yeah, it wasn't really intrigued on that.
Well, the good news about it is it's sort of free to play, if I'm correct, so I guess if you want to try it out.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try free to play at least.
After that, well, we don't really have much to say on a couple of these games because, well, whatever. Like I think we said a bunch on Rayman Legends in the past. It's just like, well, it's still going on. Then they showed the new South Park game because they are publishing it now, and it's still the South Park game, which is nice.
Yeah. They also showed more of Watch Dogs.
Yeah, they showed another gameplay thing for Watch Dogs, which was also nice. I mean, I may actually try that game out.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I won't lie.
But I think before that, though, there was a new racing game they have. I'm trying to think.
The Crew.
Yeah, The Crew. Yeah, it's The Crew, man. Gonna knock some bitches over in our cars. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, it's sort of like racing, but you can like sort of like change your vehicles and stuff like that. And
like a co-op mission-based thing.
I mean, it is at least a little bit different in terms of like a racing game. Like it's not just another Need for Speed or something.
Yo, Spring Break.
At least it looks somewhat unique in terms of like how you do missions and how you customize your cars and stuff like that. And you have different types of races and stuff like that.
Yeah. So at least we'll give it that. What I'm not going to give any credit is the new Just Dance game, because fuck this series.
Hey man, we gotta get the money from the casual market somehow.
They just call it Just Dance 2014 edition, and just from the trailer alone, they have awful musicians. When you advertise One Direction, you have failed. You have fucking failed.
It's gonna be released every year anyway, so it's like, why not?
We don't want to call it Just Dance 5 because scrubs. But they're advertising 6-player dances. In case your room isn't like too small or anything, you're punching the fucking shit out of it.
But everyone plays their games in their living room.
Which it could probably be small. Oh, I gotta move the couches. Gotta make enough room for the fucking Kinect. Oh shit.
Or just not move it if you play the Wii U version or some shit. I don't know.
Back into the sort of Rayman thing. I'm saying sort of Rayman. Another Rabbids thing.
Oh, that was sort of like... That
it's a TV show!
Yeah, that was kind of like the down point of the Ubisoft conference.
They're making a fucking Rabbids TV show for Nickelodeon.
I wonder how long it'll last. It's probably gonna get canceled.
I don't know. There's somehow a Madagascar fucking thing on Nickelodeon related to the penguins. I don't know if it's still going on either, but Jesus fuck. Only reason I watch Nickelodeon is Power Rangers, which hasn't even resumed yet. For fuck's sake. Why?
The thing is, it's not just a TV show. There's also, like...
An interactive part of it.
Yeah.
Where it's just... I don't even know. Like, in part of the trailer, they shoved an egg up a chicken's ass. Okay.
Well, keep in mind, this is a French game. They sort of have a weird sense of humor anyway.
So the Rabbids are pro-lifers, is what you're saying.
But nobody likes the French.
Yeah, Rabbids is one of those series that just refuses to die for some reason.
I thought it did, but then they brought it back.
No, there was like a crappy Wii U party launch game, Rabbids Land, and then there's now this, so it's still going.
Yeah, it's just...
The only Rabbids game I ever played was the very first one, which was on Wii.
I haven't played any of them, and I'm going to continue not to.
Oh god, there was one of, like, the interactive games where the object was to fucking scream.
Oh, because they can't get enough of their Jerry Lewis rabbit screams.
I think Floppy does it the best, but... well, they showed more Assassin's Creed 4. In general, I think they really just showed a trailer there. It's like, well, Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah, they had to say the gameplay demo for the Sony conference.
Yep.
More on that later.
Yeah, we're almost there, don't worry. 2 new Trials games?
Oh yeah. One's gonna be on like
mobile, and the others were for like
mobile, and the other for like downloadable services. The Xbox.
Did we all say the mobile version actually looked better?
Graphically, yeah, which was kind of sad.
I think it just looked a bit more stylistic or whatever.
It was hard to tell.
Yeah.
So the last thing they showed was a new Tom Clancy game, but before we even go into that, before they even revealed the name, they had this long-ass thing explaining this viral outbreak thingy, I believe, or something. So we were trying to guess the name of the friggin' game, but we were wrong the entire time. It's just like, so what are we looking at here? So after all of that cryptic trailer thing with questions and shit, they showed gameplay of this game, and we'll see. I'm not too sure, honestly.
What was it called again?
It was called The Division.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not too excited for it.
It looks kind of... I know I keep saying this, but it looks kind of interesting.
That's like your trademark. It's interesting. Quoted on the box.
Well, what else am I going to say about, like, these new games are announced? Oh, it looks...
It's okay, 9 out of 10. That's what you...
Yeah.
It sounded interesting. I was amazed because it sounded like we were supposed to be talking to other people who were on the battlefield with you, but they sounded bored out of their minds.
What? I honestly don't know if it was just the voice acting or if it's actual human players communicating. I do not know.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they just had like placeholder voices for the presentation.
Yeah, just like this is simulated real life people talking through Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, because during the demo the guy was holding a PlayStation controller, I believe, like PS4 controller. I figured this out because it was glowing yellow, which is something the PS4 has, a giant light.
It's like the Move controller, except now it's on your controller with the glowy thing.
It's not a ball anymore, it's like a panel thing. So, we'll see about The Division. At least it's something new, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was basically it for Ubisoft. They showed games. I honestly think they were either A, equal footing to their last year's conference, or a slight step back from the...
Well, last year they had a bunch of, like, stuff that were, like, they were trying a bit too hard to be funny.
Oh, yeah. The good
like,
news is...
And the YouTube celebrities and shit
Good
like
news, no Toby.
Yeah, no Toby in this. I mean, thank God there was no Toby.
The only thing I didn't like about the Ubisoft one was that rabbit thing, but that's just...
I don't think anyone liked that.
The only thing that kind of ticked me off a little bit about Ubisoft is that still nothing about Beyond Good and Evil 2. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much the last Guardian for Sony. It's like, are you guys even doing that or not?
Yeah, no Beyond Good and Evil 2 news.
Or Prince of Persia.
Yeah, which apparently was gonna star an African American. I'm just like, what? Oh well. Well, we'll still see if it's either A, canceled, or B, well, we'll see. Special note, the ending of the Ubisoft conference, just like last year, she said do that shit. And unlike last year when I was streaming, it didn't crash my recording. Said that. Would have been funny if it happened again, though. But I'd be like, oh my god, what's with her and crashing my fucking equipment? Don't tell me to do that shit, you're just gonna repeat everything.
It's all the girl wood.
Oh, hashtag Billow Girl Word. So, at 9 o'clock, the Sony conference, which in typical Sony fashion started pretty late, again.
And also in typical Sony fashion, started out with basically a montage trailer.
Don't you know I like montages, Sony?
This conference, I like this conference, but it started off slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just get the bad things out of the way. Like when they were talking about...
Let's go in order. Yeah, they did begin with a montage and shit.
And then they mentioned the Vita, and that was about it.
Yeah, once again...
They showed a few games for it, so they're like, hey, the Vita's not dead. Like, okay, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like one of the first things they mentioned about like PS Vita games, like games that were already on PSN or something, or coming out. They're gonna be on the Vita and stuff like Final Fantasy X HD. So
Yay.
they showed a couple of PS3 games like during that week that were either coming out or coming soon. For example, they showed The Last of Us, which is obviously by the time we're doing this, it's out now. And they also showed Puppeteer. They showed this new game called Rain. Don't know what it's all about. And then immediately after, a little more of Beyond Two Souls, the new David Cage game or Quantic Dream game. Now you want to wonder why I'm going through really fast? Because they did that. They went through really fast. Trailer after trailer after trailer, like almost no stopping. They were just speeding through games.
Yeah, this was the ADD portion of the conference.
And then another, I almost said Forza. I almost gonna get fucking lynched for that. Gran Turismo.
Yeah, their racing game series.
Yeah, which was Gran Turismo 6, and this was all PS3 stuff.
Hopefully it's better than the last Gran Turismo game, because I heard it wasn't that good.
I don't care for Gran Turismo. Sue me. They showed a trailer for Arkham Origins. New Batman game.
That intrigued me. I actually like that trailer. The only thing that kind of gets me about that trailer is, about the whole game, I should say, is that it's not being developed by Rocksteady, but...
I thought that was... I was going to bring that up. It's like, I don't think Rocksteady was making this, so...
It's by Warner Bros. Montreal, I believe.
Oh, I don't know what to think yet. They could mess it up.
Yeah.
Most French Canadian studios make some decent games. It's pretty good. Ubisoft and all that. And the Deus Ex Human Revolution. That was Montreal Studios too.
The thing I'm looking forward to mostly in this game is like I want to see how fighting Deathstroke with as Batman was going to play out.
Mortal Kombat. I don't know. After that, they talked a little bit more, I think, about their download service. And then they brought up briefly about their Grand Theft Auto 5 bundle. There was no gameplay of Grand Theft Auto 5, but they talked about that they were having a PlayStation 3 bundle with that, I believe. And then, after that, Andrew House came out and revealed the actual look of the PlayStation 4 console. What do you think of the actual look?
I actually don't mind the size of it.
It's actually pretty small.
Yeah.
Other than the Xbox One.
The Xbox One is like a giant fucking VCR thing that's nearly the size. In fact, I actually think it's bigger than the original Xbox. But the PlayStation 4 has this parallelogram look to it. It's still kind of simple, but it looks nice. It actually looks better if you stand it up sideways, though.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Why is it that with the PS4 and the Xbox One designs, it feels like we're going back into the 80s? Because the Sony PS4 reminds me of something that you'd see in like an 80s cyberpunk movie. And the Xbox One reminds me of the VCR that you would play the 80s cyberpunk movie on.
Hey man, with Far Cry Blood Dragon, 80s is coming back.
Hooray!
It's gonna be the new fad again, I guess.
Does this mean I can finally break out my neon stuff again?
Absolutely. So, I do like that look of the console. I'm just surprised that's the actual size. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was going to be a bit bigger.
People keep in mind that when you look at this, Andrew House was holding it, so because of his tiny hands, it looks bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, there was actually a size comparison picture, and it is small. Like, not as small as, say, Wii or Wii U, but it's definitely smaller than the PlayStation 3, especially when it first came out. And we don't even need to say shit about the Xbox One, because it's huge. We already know. So after that...
It's huge! Must have huge guns!
So after that, they brought out this guy, and he talked about this movie service. I think it was, like, Video Unlimited. I'm not too sure what it's about, but I think it's... what was it about? Because they have Music Unlimited, but they're adding video to that too. That's what that portion was. I wish I would know a little bit more about it, but if I remember hearing correctly, like not exact details, but from what, if I could recall what I heard, I thought it was actually neat, and I probably would have checked it out. I mean, my memory's not serving me that well today, but that's basically what that one guy came out and announced. Then Andrew House came back out and explained a little more on Video Unlimited.
Yeah, that took less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, which is amazing compared to that Xbox One reveal show where it was like literally an hour of that. What Sony did well in this conference is bring up features that aren't necessarily about games only, but they were brief. They said what they had to say, and they moved on.
Yeah, because Sony understands that the most important part about a console is the games. You know.
Oh, and I don't want. This isn't the best part of the conference, but this is an amusing one. When Shu Yoshida came out, the president of Sony Computer Entertainment, he just came out. I just like his English. It's nice. He obviously talked about a couple of things. One of which was this new game, which I forget the name of it. They showed a trailer of it. It seems like a co-op based game from what I can tell, I think. And it was called The Order. What did you think of that?
I want to know more about what it's about and what the gameplay entails.
Yeah. Like, the setting is like... What would you describe that setting as?
London-esque.
I don't want to say
the
Gothic.
older times.
I don't want to say Gothic.
Yeah, it's basically steampunk the game.
I guess it's steampunk.
I need to see more footage before I can make an actual thing about it. But
yeah, it's just like it's a new game coming out. It's, I guess, a new IP. So yeah, we're not many sequels this time for the most part. They
did show, like, didn't they show a bit of the Infamous game?
Yeah, that's a sequel, but they showed a little more of Killzone Shadowfall.
Isn't Shadowfall like to be a prequel or something?
I don't know what it is, but all I know is that's apparently going to be a launch title, and I think Infamous Second Son is also. So, about the new Infamous game, I still don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I mean, that first trailer kind of set me off the wrong way. Maybe it'll be good. I mean, it's a new guy we're playing as, and he has fire-based powers instead of electricity that Cole had.
Yeah, well, didn't Cole had like fire-based powers in the second one?
Fire.
I don't know. I don't know because
Basically had blue
I didn't
and
play the
red
second-
lightning.
yeah, it was lightning. But whatever. I think second Sun's the launch title. I could be wrong. Then they showed yet another Quantic Dream thing. It was that old man face they showed again. It wasn't just a face. It's called the Dark Sorcerer. And then after a couple serious things, they break out of form, and then next thing you know, they're in a studio. And then there was this like a black guy voicing an orc, I think. It was pretty amusing. I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was basically a tech demo, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was still an amusing tech demo.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I know I'm new here, but I'm doing good. I remember them doing the same thing for Heavy Rain way back. Like, where it was like super serious and then they break form, but it wasn't as comedic as this one.
It was more like fighting the role or something.
It's just like, alright, cut, alright, time to go into the studio thing. Yeah, finding the role thing.
They showed Knack.
Yeah, they did show Knack again. I don't think for that long, though.
Yeah, it was really quick.
And then Jack Swagger came out. I mean, Adam Boyce. This man's smile. They briefly mentioned The Witness. And then... did they show The Witness at the PlayStation 4 events way back? It was like this indie game.
Yes. That's the one that was made by the people who did Braid, right?
I don't know. That's why I really don't know.
I believe it's from the same developers who did Braid.
After that, they did show a new game from the guys that made Bastion.
Right.
Oh, that looked really good.
It was called Transistor. Or
Yeah.
Transistor.
Transistor.
Transistor. Which I think they showed a little bit more during that thing you mentioned about the indie thing, which they did immediately after, where they shortly revealed a bunch of indie games, screen by screen, with a person playing it. And it eventually got to the point where there were like 10 people on stage showing all those indie games at once.
Yeah. Wasn't one of them like a remake of the first Oddworld game?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one.
An
that
Oddworld
stuck
game.
out.
You wouldn't have imagined that.
Yeah, that's the one that stuck out of my mind because I actually did find that game on PlayStation like some time ago.
Actually, I don't know if it's a remake. Actually,
It looks like sort of like a remake or something like that. I don't know.
we'll see. But there were a bunch of games. I can't really remember all of the names. One of them had the art style of the Scott Pilgrim game, so I think it's the same guys that are doing that. But it's like a side-scrolling shooter.
We can't overlook the real star here. Octodad.
Octodad, that was the fucking best game show.
all 5 seconds of it.
Where he pushed the button for disco lights and balloons to fall.
I want to play it. So
That better be an indie launch title. There are just a bunch of indie games. Don't Starve, Raise of the Dead, Outlast, the Oddworld game, and a couple I'm missing too, but they showed like 8 total. I don't know why I said 10, but 8. That's still quite a bit all at once. That was cool. They briefly brought up Diablo 3 for PlayStation 4 and how we have Sony exclusive items. Alright, next.
Yay, yeah. Sorry, I already have Diablo 3 on PC. No thanks.
Blink and you'll miss it.
And then Square Enix showed some stuff. Something that weirded me out. Tetsuya Nomura describes how he barely, there wasn't really any updates on the Versus 13 project. And we have no detail, but we have some more news, so here's a trailer. But during that shit, it slowly fades to the Square Enix logo. I don't know why that fade was there, but it made it so hard to read what the rest of the shit he was saying. It's like, no way, I'm not done. What are you doing? Don't go. And then they showed a trailer, which you can go into.
Okay. Essentially, at first you would think, oh, it's more footage of Final Fantasy Versus 13. So,
which on its own is incredible, considering how little was shown
like
for the past
this game
years.
was ongoing for so long. This was even announcing before the original PS3 was even released. But just to word things briefly, the trailer was actually somewhat amusing. The only thing I kind of noticed is that it was kind of struggling to maintain its frame rate, but other than that, I was actually kind of intrigued by it. But then it was like, oh, it shows the title of Final Fantasy Versus 13, transforming it into Final Fantasy 15.
It took them so long.
That we're not even calling it Versus 13 anymore.
Yeah. Okay, and then alright, now that we've mentioned that, the second trailer they showed, and this is going to make a lot of people happy, well, depending on who you are, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes, an actual 3! An actual
not fucking
numbered
Birth by
sequel.
Sleep, not fucking 350/2 days, not Chain of Memories, none of that stuff, fucking 3.
Versus 3, then that'll never come out.
Yeah.
But
Versus 365 divided by 2.
I think the most amusing thing about the Kingdom Hearts 3 thing was at the end of the trailer, now in development.
It's like, oh, we just changed the trailer, but now we're now developing it right now. We're not gonna release until in a couple of years.
Hey, it's better than zero progress.
Well, at least it's in development. I mean, I actually gotta say, I really like the look of it. It looks really, really good. I mean,
if that's actual footage,
if the gameplay footage can actually look that great, I'd be like, wow, this is like a dream come true.
We'll see. And also in that trailer, they brought up. By the way, HD 1.5 remix is also coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Try this in the meantime.
Buy our DVD, please.
It's Kingdom Hearts 1 with, 350/2 days as a movie. Oh, and Chain of Memories as well, too.
Oh, and very briefly, very, very briefly, they mentioned something about Final Fantasy 14 having crossplay for PC and PS.
Yeah, because the Reborn version of that's coming out.
Oh, well. So, Assassin's Creed again happened.
Oh, God.
This time they showed gameplay, which was pretty much Assassin's Creed Fair, which was alright. Then the ending happened, and everything glitched out.
Yeah, the video froze.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for the guy on stage.
This fuck-up is nowhere near as bad as the EA one, the Battlefield one.
It's just the guy who was actually...
Oh, he smiled about it. He took it like a pro.
Yeah, at least it happened at the end of the thing.
I mean, it's not as bad as the Wonder Book presentation, but aside from that, it was still somewhat amusing to see him smile. And
I'm not sure if it was just Assassin's Creed 4, but you know how when they transition between direct streaming of the game to the live thing, you notice how the game kind of just stopped?
Yeah.
What was that? Because
I don't know.
It wasn't the presentation stopping in full, because you saw people physically moving still when that happened. I thought I saw on more than one game too, which weirded me out. But it was blatant in Assassin's Creed. I still like how he just smiled about it. That guy on stage. But yeah, that was a blunder. Oh, I may have made a mistake. I don't think Ubisoft showed Watch Dogs at their conference, because they showed it at PlayStation 4.
Yeah, they did.
Right. Well, that's the problem with when they show multi-platform.
Yeah, it's where we showed it
at the different conferences. I get mixed up because it's this was made by Ubisoft, so I figured it would be at Ubisoft.
So what we said, aforementioned with the Ubisoft thing, we're gonna apply it here and skip it because we still think it looks cool. It's just it was shown in the PS4 conference, the gameplay demo, not Ubisoft. So that was our mistake. Fast forwarding a bit. Oh God. Oh man.
after Watch Dogs, who's ready for some LeBron James?
Oh no.
Oh my god. This was... We had real LeBron James and virtual LeBron James talking to each other.
That just reminded me of like one of the Spike TV Video Game Awards where Snoop Dogg was talking with his video game counterpart.
Or Sam Jackson being in a bunch of different games. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Where he was like in the fucking Walking Dead.
Or Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. That was the thing, damn it.
And Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, by the way, Minecraft's going to be on the Xbox One.
Oh, yeah. That was so I don't care. We didn't even bring it up during the Xbox.
Yeah, but who cares? Next.
The funniest thing about the LeBron thing was when, during, like, the actual basketball part, him opening his mouth! It was so wide, I felt like it was like Shaquille O'Neal trying to eat me.
What's worse about it is that they don't render anything for the inside of the mouth, so it's just a big black void coming at you.
It's a black hole.
Oh my god, I just don't even... I don't even know. But it was like the new NBA 2K game. After that, Elder Scrolls Online, my care level is negative.
I'm not too big on it myself, so I couldn't care any less.
I wouldn't mind at least trying it someday.
Then after that was... Well, they showed a trailer for Elder Scrolls Online, but... Then there was a reveal trailer for something else, which I don't think a lot of people saw coming unless you like looking at leaks or something, I don't know. But it was a Mad Max game.
Speaking of 80s...
Yeah, they are going back to the 80s.
Yeah, that threw me off a little, because I remember seeing it, I'm just like, wait, is this a Mad Max game? Because I recognize some things from the movie in that trailer. Like the whole shotgun and having only one shell in it. That's from the movie, one of the movies.
Yep.
I really want to see where that goes.
Wait, is this a Mad Max game?
What, Scott?
I really, really want to see where that goes.
Yeah. It was just like a...
Actually, you know what it sort of reminds me of? It reminds me of that Dirty Harry game that they were supposedly going to make, but that was canceled.
Yeah.
So I hope that doesn't happen with this.
I don't even know who's making the Mad Max.
If that's the case, we're bringing back the 80s into gaming.
Thanks, Blood Dragon. I'm not being an asshole with that.
I need to actually probably play that game.
Okay, so... Oh, man. SCR, do you want to talk about what was possibly the best part of the entire conference?
Actually, I just looked it up. Mad Max being worked on by Avalanche Studios.
I don't even know who those guys are.
Just Cause.
Oh, okay, that may be good then.
Okay, open world Mad Max game. I'm done with that.
I better parachute like Just Cut. No. We're going into what's possibly the best part of the entire conference.
This is what people will remember E3 specifically for.
So, I'll just start by saying Jack Tretton comes back out on stage.
Yes, he does. This is actually something that they plan to address. People have been talking about a lot, specifically with the Xbox One. Namely, things like DRM, used games, shit like that. He comes out and has these graphics show up on screen that say the PS4 supports used games.
And the crowd
goes wild.
It gets better. They're happy with that, but shortly after that, they go to another graphic that says, oh my god.
It says,
for disc-based games, you can trade it at retail, sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever. And then the fucking cheers got louder. And then, again, for disc-based games, you won't have to connect online every 24 hours.
Yay, I can actually play offline.
All I just remember, I think Jack Tretton snuck in something related to PlayStation Plus, though. The good news is, if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, like on PS3 and shit, it'll carry over to, say, the Vita and PlayStation 4. However, he snuck in, apparently, that with the PlayStation 4, Plus is required if you want to play games online, which, honestly, I don't mind. Because considering what PlayStation Plus already offers, especially for $5 a month, that's actually probably one of the greatest deals you could have. So it's like, well, I can't say that Sony offers free online anymore because of this, but at least you're getting way more than what you pay for.
Yeah. You're giving a better incentive to actually pay monthly, like these free deals, all that other stuff. So,
and the other good news is, because of this, PS3 online won't be affected. You can still play online for free on PS3. It's just PS4 is where this is taking place. But the Plus subscription carries across everything, which is great. So, after all of that amazing cheering, they showed Bungie's new game, Destiny. They actually showed gameplay this time. Before it was like diaries or just teaser trailers, but actual gameplay, and I'm interested. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, it looks good.
I thought I was gonna be okay with it, with what they showed. Then, as it went on, eventually they got to a part where it was a public event, and then you just see a bunch of other players rush in to take out this Tachikoma from Ghost in the Shell. Because that's what it looked like. Don't deny it.
Yeah, it's basically taking like an MMO element and then just having like a bunch of players come in to defeat like a giant alien or monster, whatever it was.
Yeah, it looks really nice, considering that this is an MMO FPS. I mean, I want to see how it plays out, but yeah, I'm definitely intrigued now, Bungie. I think you did a good job. I hate going back to Xbox One, but I want to do a comparison. Remember when they showed Killer Instinct with the awkward fucking banter between the two players?
Just sit back and let it happen.
Didn't help that one of them was a woman. So yeah.
Yeah, it was apparently perceived as a subtle implied rape joke,
Nazis be mad.
which they eventually apologized for. Which I don't even think was the rape joke thing was in the intention. It was just the way they were saying shit was forced.
Yeah,
painful.
yeah. Don't try to do game lingo.
Oh, we forgot the worst part about that.
What?
The broadcasting thing.
Oh my god! I'm so... Yeah, we're going back to Xbox for a bit, but during the Killer Instinct thing, they brought up the Twitch TV integration, which I guess is okay, until you read the fake fucking chat.
It
I
was
lost
so
my
fake.
shit when I read that. It's totes sick. Jago looks hot. I wanted to break shit so bad. Fuck Killer Instinct. This game is gonna be fucking awful.
And fuck Shoe Happy, whoever had that ID.
I don't even know. It's just,
That's the best way to present Killer Instinct. Great job, Microsoft. Really
You
great.
gotta have your social integration, even though it's obviously.
Now, the reason I brought up the banter is because during Destiny there was like the guys playing were like talking with each other, like Jason Jones and all those guys. I don't want to say it was awkward, but at least it felt more human than what the Killer Instinct was. Just, at least with the Destiny showing, with like the guys talking, it didn't feel forced. It felt in a way playful. Still maybe awkward, but not nearly as bad as that KI demonstration.
That was a terrible, terrible way.
Yeah, but in general, what are you guys thinking of Destiny? Because
as a person that doesn't usually play a lot of first-person shooters, I'm actually intrigued. Like, I do like the open worldness to the game. Like, I do like how you can actually cooperate and like take down big enemies like that. And I just hope they like introduce like new things to the first-person shooting element. So, and then maybe I'll be intrigued because.
Well, we'll see. In fact, I don't even know if there's going to be PvP in the game. I assume there will be, or how it's going to be.
I mean, I want to see like how is paying for this game. Is it going to be like a monthly thing, or is it going to be?
Well, why would you ask for a monthly thing when PlayStation 4 asks for a monthly thing already? That's like retard paying.
Or Xbox Live, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they do something dumb like with Phantasy Star Universe,
Yeah.
which I doubt they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bungie's worried about like having a subscription-based thing. So.
It's almost likely to be free to play.
Well,
except
there's
for
no
my
such thing as
game.
free to play on PS4. We went over this. They have a fucking monthly thing for PlayStation Plus online.
Plus, you have to still buy the game.
Yeah, so whatever. This isn't going to be something like a,
They're going to be like Star Trek Online.
well, Star Trek Online's free to play now.
Yeah, I know. That's why it says, it was retail at first, and then it's subscription based, but then it's like you can just download it for free anyway. But yeah, it definitely looks pretty good. It looks like a combination of like Borderlands and Halo, and I'm down for that.
I'm down for it.
And okay,
I'm undecided
nothing?
about Destiny, honestly.
Huh?
You know how I feel about first-person shooters. I mean, I still play them, it's just I have to do it like in very limited quantities because I'm still feeling kind of burnt out. And if Destiny, if all that is you're a guy with a gun and your friend is guy with a slightly different gun and their friend is guy with a slightly different gun, if it's just a bunch of people with guns, there needs to be some variety of some sort in there. And I'm waiting to see like what
Shadow
that
of
is
the
in the
Empire
game.
speed bikes when they crashed into each other during the presentation. They go speed bike. Okay, so after that, we're near the end of the conference. Andrew House comes out. He talks about the cloud gaming service. He mentioned something about the gaming library, which I'm still not too clear on.
I think it's just him explaining that you can download pretty much all these games from our backlogs of like PS3, PlayStation 2 and 1 and all that, and PSP and Vita on PS4. Basically just having like an all-in-one library on your PS4.
All in one.
Maybe I'll get a better explanation in the future, but
That's just my guess.
yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think any of us are too sure. So after a little bit of that, probably the biggest good bombshell we've ever got, aside from that used games thing. Andrew House, of course, has to come out with the price of the system. So I hope that everyone is happy and pleased to announce that PlayStation 4 is $399 US.
Yeah, they pretty much just
And the crowd, the fucking crowd, stood up and fucking clapped. This may have been some of the best E3 Sony has ever had.
Sony knew exactly what to do, and they pretty much nailed Microsoft right in the head.
Yeah.
There's downsides though, and this applies to both Xbox One and PlayStation 4. In terms of currency conversion, I think Europe in general is kind of getting fucked.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah, the price is the same in US dollars and for euros.
Yeah,
Which
and then there's
300
pounds too.
yeah. But they kind of get a bit screwed when it comes to gaming. Like stuff's more expensive there anyway.
So the bad news is with both consoles,
Can I
non-Americans
just say, like
are
an amendment
getting
to that real quick.
what?
399 euros is 532 US dollars.
What about pounds? It's 349 pounds.
Let me do a quick conversion real quick. That's 547 US dollars.
Yeah, so
But
they're
at least
kinda
there
getting-
is a drop for the British pound.
So that's the bad news. The good news is the PS3 in general across all those prices is cheaper than the Xbox One. The Xbox One in Europe in like for pounds and euros is way worse because the Xbox One is more expensive in America. Like it was $499 for Xbox One in America, and I think also for euros.
Yep, that
And
means you're paying 665 US dollars equivalent.
Yeah.
Almost 666.
Well, if you round it up, it is 666.
Good job, Microsoft.
Good job. Isn't Microsoft also trying to go for Japan release? I think I read an article that later on they try to release the Xbox One to Japan now, and when I read it, I was like, yeah.
They're not gonna fucking buy that. No way.
No way, no fucking way.
Yeah, if like the only people that bought 360 in Japan was like people who got Tales of Vesperia and like maybe a few other JRPGs that were first exclusive on it. But then eventually, yeah.
A lot of people ended up just getting the 360 for freaking Idolmaster in Japan.
That wasn't enough.
Yeah, the sad part is I actually remember seeing like a promotional video, like a top 10 like games for Xbox 360 in Japan, and one of them was Clannad, a visual novel, being one of the top ones. I was like,
they like their visual novels over there.
It's like, I think that should say a lot of how much Japan cares for Microsoft.
So, I think it goes without saying that Sony did great.
Yeah, Microsoft did everything wrong.
Well, like we said earlier, their presentation for their games wasn't necessarily bad. But
I mean, on the surface level, it wasn't bad.
yeah, it's just just when you compare the consoles, yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at the bigger picture and the quality of their supposed games, then you see how.
So, yeah, Sony had a good conference, but we only have one more thing to talk about. It's Nintendo's Direct. It's not a conference, because they didn't do one this year. Which is honestly understandable, because the Wii U's out and everything, so if they just want to talk about game releases, then having a Direct only and doing stuff on the show floor itself was a pretty smart idea. There was no need to have a big conference.
yeah, but it kind of probably saved like a lot of money doing this.
The first thing they talked about was the new Pokemon game.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fairy type.
Yeah, they
Fairy
a
Pokemon.
a new fairy type Pokemon, which apparently is strong against dragons. So,
I can't wait to use the fairy element in Monster Hunter.
and you can also like interact more with your Pokemon and like feed them and stuff, and pet them, you know, whatever. I mean, I guess it's sort of cute for that kind of reasons.
Yeah, but I haven't bothered with the Pokemon game, so I'm not sure if I'm going to bother with this. But if you like Pokemon, this is for you.
And what did they show right after Pokemon? Was it the new Mario game? Yes,
It's Mario 3D World, but I'm not sure if they showed that immediately after. I think they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of that?
Well, it's another Mario game, but you get to play as 4 characters, but it's not just Mario, Luigi, 2 Toad. It's actually Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, and it looks like they have.
They have the same abilities from Mario 2, Super Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toad is the fastest. That was confirmed. They have the same abilities. So if you want the speed run, play as Toad.
Oh, there is something we have to bring up about that new Mario game. The cat suit.
Yes,
Yep.
I was going to mention that too.
And apparently they were making a big deal out of this because, well, Iwata and the others were at E3 and they were wearing cat claws at some point.
Oh god. I can just see Reggie, Iwata, and Miyamoto doing that shit.
Oh no.
You know, I have a video idea now. Let's just not do it.
Yeah. So cat suits. Can't wait for Peter to make a shitty parody game about that.
Oh, they're gonna fucking go full force on that. They shedded a cat and now they're wearing the suit. Those monsters. How could they? But yeah, that does look like fun. After that, they showed the new Mario Kart. The new Mario Kart. I only say Mario as a joke.
Whatever. But yeah, it's Mario Kart 8.
Let's just call it Mario Kart F-Zero, because now you can there's now zero gravity type of stuff where you like drive on walls and go upside down like F-Zero, which looks like a lot of fun, but begs the question: when are we gonna get a new F-Zero game?
You know, maybe they should just.
I don't know. Maybe they might. I don't know. They're just getting like the major stuff out of the way first, like Mario Kart and all that. Then they'll maybe do something with F-Zero. You never know.
Or Star Fox. I mean, I want to see those franchises again. not just as remakes. I want new full-fledged games.
And not just shit in Nintendo Land.
Friggin' Star Fox didn't get anything in Nintendo Land. At least F-Zero did, but still. Ugh.
I would like to have a new Metroid game, please.
Well, we'll see.
Well, Metroid's been more recent, but yeah.
Metroid has been more recent than both Star Fox and F-Zero. I'm not counting the 3D release of Star Fox, because that's just a re-release. So, Mario Kart, what do you guys think?
Well,
So I'm definitely going to play it, obviously.
I'll definitely play it. I mean,
I have every Mario Kart since the first up to 7, so I will get 8.
So, that game was confirmed for spring 2014, which, with the Nintendo Direct, is pretty common. There's a lot of games come out in 2014, and Mario World is a game that's coming out December this year, so at least we're getting the new Mario this year. Watch it come out on my birthday, that'd be like, wow. Happy birthday, here's some Mario. Then after that, they have a new Wii Party game. Wii Party U, that's just what it's called.
Yeah, they also said that there is going to be a Wii Fit U.
Yep.
Which sounds pretty, but whatever. And that's actually going to be also in 2014. So they're actually delaying that a little bit.
Can't wait.
I believe.
Iwata brought up like all of the drawings that they were all noticing on the Miiverse, which, yes, there's a lot of good drawings on Miiverse, which they demonstrated. So what they decided to do was have a Wii U game for the Art Academy series.
Oh yeah, there's like a 3DS adaptation of that.
Yep. So people that want to draw, you can draw. There you go. I mean, Art Academy is obviously for a specific type of people that would get this. And the cool thing is, those drawings can go to Miiverse, so we can actually see color in Miiverse posts when the game comes out. So, at least when that game comes out, I'll peek in on that Miiverse and see what they're drawing. I just hope it's not long-faced nibble snarf quality. You remember that one, right, Scott? Like, what the fuck was that? And then after that, they did a montage of a bunch of third-party games, like...
Yeah, the We Have
Arkham
This Too montage.
Yep. And apparently there's a 3DS Arkham Origins game.
There's also one on the Vita, if I recall.
Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, which is no longer Wii U exclusive. Director's Cut is going elsewhere now.
Okay.
That's a common theme now. Bunch of other third-party games: Scribblenauts, Just Dance, Splinter Cell. I don't really need to list all of them, but what caught my eye was Rayman Legends. So, when was Grand Theft Auto 5 supposed to come out?
September.
Do you have an exact date?
I don't know the exact date.
Scott, can you look it up quickly?
Grand Theft Auto 5 release date September 17th.
Okay, so Rayman Legends is coming out September 3rd.
Okay, so at least a little bit earlier than...
Yeah, I think I was watching the UK broadcast, because when they were broadcasting this on Facebook and stuff, it just kept buffering and buffering. So I just went to a different stream, the UK broadcasted one, and I noticed in the Rayman Legends one, it said August for UK, which made me think, did they push it back? But I guess they sort of did. I mean, it's still the same month as Grand Theft Auto 5, but at least it's not the same fucking day.
Or week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least Rayman Legends has a chance until that comes out.
I mean, truly, I'm thinking about at least purchasing it day one, because I kind of want to try it out.
We'll see. I mean, I just hope September 3rd is that final day, because that's what it said on here. Other things they showed was DuckTales Remastered or Shin Megami Tensei 4. A bunch of downloadable games.
Oh yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 4 comes out, like, I think, sometime in July, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know the release date of that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game.
What else we got is they showed a little more of Wind Waker HD.
Looks actually pretty.
Yeah,
I actually that they fixed the gameplay, like in terms of like sailing. It kind of like
You can just like speed sail, I think.
Well, you can sail faster now. There's like some button or something where you can sail a bit faster now.
Speedrunners go.
So for those of you that were impatient with the sailing, which I personally didn't mind in Wind Waker, I love the sailing. But yeah, if you use that at least. You can also have like, it's not just like an upscale version of Wind Waker, as there is actually new features that are integrated with the new Wii U version. Like, if any of you remember or played Wind Waker, there was an item called the Tingle Tuner, which used the Game Boy Advance connected to the game.
I actually used it like once.
I've used it before.
Yeah.
And instead, it's now basically the Wii Pad, and you actually use that with the game, and you also integrate it with Miiverse and stuff like that. So,
which is nice. There's like.
So it's like I said, it's not just a straight up upscale like an HD collection game or whatever. It's basically like a full HD remake, and that's one I really liked Wind Waker. I actually wouldn't mind getting that.
I think some problem with the graphic thing might be like there may be a little too much bloom, a little too much. I mean, it looks fine either way. It's just like some people may think that the bloom is a little too much and kind of messes things up. But whatever. But yeah, the thing with the Miiverse thing, I think that was in relation to that photographer, like that fucking camera you get in the game. You can actually post those pictures. So after that, Platinum Games is Wonderful 101.
Which is basically Pikmin and Beautiful Joe combined. And it looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not a big Platinum guy, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, they also showed off Bayonetta 2.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the redesign. I kind of like the new short hair look.
Of Bayonetta?
Yeah, it's like, wow, they actually changed her hair. It's like, but yeah, for some odd reason, I like it. And the gameplay is actually really damn good. Like, I see some new combo moves, like something new. It's like, wow, I want this game now. But yeah.
Before they mentioned Bayonetta 2, Retro Studios' new game. It's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, the sequel to Donkey Kong Country Returns.
People were expecting them to do another Metroid, but they've said that there were some unfinished things that they wanted to do with Donkey Kong since they probably couldn't fit it with Returns. So they'll be able to do it with the Wii U and this new game. So maybe in the future they will do another Metroid unless someone else takes the reins, but we'll see.
Or something new entirely.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having Retro Studios making yet another Metroid game. They've done a really good job with the Metroid.
They've set a really high bar with it, though, so...
They've also been doing a good job with the Donkey Kong Country games.
So it's like, I don't mind what Retro Studios does.
And, at least with the new Donkey Kong, it comes out in November.
Yeah, this year, right?
Yep.
There's that, at least.
Then there's the new RPG, which apparently is a... Is it confirmed Xenoblade sequel yet?
I'm not sure if it's a sequel.
Well, it's made by the same people who did Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
Monolith.
X?
X, as it's kind of being called right now, as of right now, I believe.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's like, it's a JRPG fan's paradise. I do like how it looks, and the combat system looks really, really, really good. Thing is, though, I'm kind of glad, I mean, we are confirmed to get it, right?
Well, I think it's pretty much a given that most of us will get it at some point.
Yeah. I mean, we're confirmed for it to be localized here, right?
I would think so.
Okay.
I mean, I know it took a little while for Xenoblade Chronicles to come out here, but if that was at least any indication, this next one will be localized.
So yeah, that's like one of my most favorite things that they showed at the Nintendo Direct. But moving on.
New Smash Brothers was the last thing they showed. It's for Wii U and 3DS. And they have, of course, newcomers like the Animal Crossing villager, which has already gone on to become a serial killer. That quick, people have interpreted him as a fucking serial killer because of his face.
That smile.
Something else that they kind of mentioned in passing is that depending on if you get the Wii U or the 3DS version, that'll affect like what stages you play on.
Yeah, by the way, there's some not good news aside from the 2014 release. The not good news is there is no crossplay. No, there is no crossplay. It's just some versions have different stages or something, I believe.
Also, I think, but here's some good news for those who hated this in Brawl. There's no tripping.
Yeah, tripping is gone. That's good news.
Yeah.
And there's another new character as well that pretty much.
Oh, there's two.
There's two. You want to bring up the more absurd one first?
The female Wii Fit trainer.
That was a hilarious reveal, though.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yes, it's kind of absurd, but yet the way they revealed it, it's like, I don't mind.
Yeah, that was actually the second. Like, I guess in the third character they revealed. The second
that one was revealed like at E3, not during the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, but what
and it's one of those things that
revealed,
the first time you hear it, you go, "That is fucking stupid," and then you see it in action, and you kind of think about it, and you're like, "Oh my god, that actually works."
Yeah,
it's Smash Brothers. They find a way to make it work.
I mean, it was ridiculous when they put Jigglypuff in. It was ridiculous when they put the Ice Climbers in. But those worked. And I have a feeling that this is going to be, like, in the similar vein.
And then there's, how do I put this? There's one last thing. The probably biggest reveal for Smash Brothers is that Mega Man!
It's a Mega Man!
Oh boy, it's
Jump and shoot, man.
Jump and shoot, man.
So people have been demanding Mega Man for Brawl, so they get it in not Brawl, but this one. Watch people still complain, but I don't think anyone's complaining that Mega Man is in it. It's just like, hey, Mega Man's confirmed Smash.
Yeah, it's like classic NES style Mega Man.
Not the stupid look in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Well, I think we would do that in Smash Bros. Anyway. But yeah, I think we all know who Zero's main will be in that game.
Yeah. I do also hear that in the new Super Smash Bros. That Namco's not making it a priority to add any of their characters in.
Yeah, because the game is actually being developed, or at least co-developed by Namco.
Yep.
Like, I think they did say that they're most likely going to bring most characters that they had in Brawl into this new Super Smash Bros. So that's a good chance my main Marth is going to make a return. As well as I'm pretty much waiting, like, at least a Fire Emblem Awakening character. It may not be the one I hope, but I think it will probably be the main guy from Awakening.
So that was the Nintendo Direct, basically. They pretty much explained or just revealed what we thought was going to be shown. I wasn't really disappointed because it's what I was expecting.
I was expecting, but yeah, you weren't disappointed.
Yeah, I was happy with what they showed.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, they showed a few games at least.
I probably would have complained if it was a conference, but it's not.
Yeah. I kind of like these Nintendo Directs. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I wouldn't mind it, like, coming probably, like, next, like, E3 that they decide to do this. It's like, you know, if you want to do a Nintendo Direct, go for it. In fact, I actually like these over the conferences in some ways.
Okay, so we're not necessarily done with Nintendo. So, if you guys don't mind, me and Scott should probably have the floor for the next few minutes. Me and SCR, Nintendo did this Best Buy thing where a couple of games that were being shown at E3 would be playable at certain Best Buy locations.
Yep, the Nintendo E3 experience, where they showed off in select cities Best Buys, Mario Kart 8, the Wind Waker HD, the new Mario World, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Now, I only got to go for one day because I had work on Saturday. So, I got to go Wednesday. I actually took Nightman with me. I picked him up along the way. It was like an hour drive, though. And it was actually still pretty nice to go there. I mean, it was a long drive, and we had to wait a while because there were a bunch of people. And after all that was said and done, we only got to play one game. So, at least on my end, I tried Mario Kart 8, and Nightman did Zelda HD. So I think it felt like 2 hours before I even got to play. So in the meantime, I actually got footage there of people playing the games and stuff. But before that, I want to bring this up, and this has been confirmed with people. There have been Microsoft representatives at these booths trying to convince people for the Xbox One. I saw it happen in person. I was just overhearing it with this guy with this Microsoft shirt. And as soon as I saw that Microsoft shirt, I'm just like, oh no. Like, I just knew what was going to happen. And he tried convincing people to go for Xbox One. It didn't seem like it worked. SCR, did you run into anyone like that?
I didn't see anything like that when I went, and I went both days, Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday I actually got there ridiculously early. They hadn't even had the thing set up yet. So, to kill time, I went around with the camera on my phone, and I started playing a little game called Things I Can Buy for the Price of an Xbox One. And actually, I've started uploading those photos one by one to my Twitter account. But, just a couple examples, you can get 50 copies of Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing Deluxe Edition. And, when I went, I wound up playing on Wednesday. I played, Mario Kart 8, and then I went again, and I tried Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And I had fun with both of them. It was weird playing Mario Kart 8, because I haven't played Mario Kart in a really long time, and I was not used to the motion controls at all. But I still managed to get through it okay.
You were using the Wii remote, right?
Yeah. I'm still not used to the whole tilting to turn thing.
So, with my Mario Kart 8 experience, let's put it this, for the hours I was waiting, whenever I saw people playing Mario Kart, it was always two-player races. So, like, one guy had to use the gamepad, the other guy was forced motion controls. Even though the gamepad, you can opt to use motion controls, but you can actually turn that off and use traditional, which I eventually did. Which I did immediately, by the way, when I played. So, I ended up playing by myself when I went up, because the other guy that signed up for Mario Kart 8 around my time didn't show up for some reason, so I played alone. So imagine the smirk on my face when, as soon as I started playing, I was being called a professional. I was just like, wow, we got a professional here.
So they treat you as like a tester or something?
A tester? No, I'm not Egoraptor. I didn't get kicked off.
MLG Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's just like, I knew how to boost start, I knew all the drifting, I took certain shortcuts and stuff. And I've never played Mario Kart 8 before. I just took my knowledge from previous games and applied it, and it worked out perfectly.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much how you do Mario Kart.
It was still fun, but it probably would have been more interesting if I played against someone. But if I did play against someone, he probably would have opted for the weak gamepad, and I probably would have been fucked. Because I cannot motion control on Mario Kart, because I don't even think it fucking works. So, whatever. I'll opt for Nightman on this. He got to play Wind Waker immediately after this. He did like the island stroll and not the boss fight. I actually did get to see the boss fight though, but that was like way earlier. The game looks great. Like, I'll just say right now, seeing the games in person is way better than what you're seeing like through like directs or YouTubes and stuff. So that's probably one good reason why it was nice to go, because seeing the games in person does make a big difference. Nightman was kind of a little bit clueless because he hasn't played Wind Waker in a while, so I kind of had to guide him a bit. It's like, but whatever. Nothing really happened in the Island Stroll demo though, so which kind of whatever.
Well, it's an Island Stroll, not like you.
Yeah, he did pick up Tingle bottles though, and saw Meaver's post and stuff, so at least it demonstrated that. But yeah, that looks nice. I saw gameplay of Mario World and Donkey Kong. They both looked fun in person, and people were enjoying themselves, which is why I think this whole setup was a success, because people were enjoying it. They were enjoying the games they were playing. Scott, what about you?
Yeah, there was just a really good atmosphere with everyone there. Like, the people that were working the booth, the people that were waiting in line. A bunch of people had their 3DSs out and were playing, like, Animal Crossing, collecting street passes from each other. Oh, and then a bunch of people got some swag from the table.
Yeah, they were giving away stuff like Mario Kart flags, Luigi coins, and Luigi hat. I really wish I could have gotten a Luigi hat, but they were all out, so I went home with a Luigi Mario Kart flag.
Yeah, and I have 2 Mario flags.
They still had no hat?
No, people kept grabbing them as soon as they got on the table.
Because you couldn't get swag until you actually played, which kind of makes me wonder, did some of those people even play, or did they just take this shit? Because that's at least how it worked for my thing. You had to play before you got swag.
That's how it was for mine, too.
So, even though it was a longer drive for me, compared to you, Scott, I still think it was worth it.
Yeah, I'd say it was worth it.
It just sucks Mario Kart's coming out next year. Because I think every other game that's demoed is coming out this year, including Wind Waker.
Whatever, we can wait.
Yeah. That's fine with me. I mean, the holidays are going to be dominated by the new consoles anyway, so that's why I really don't mind. I guess that's it for Nintendo. I think that's it for our E3 discussion.
Yeah.
For the major, at least, events that happened anyway.
Yeah, there were other game announcements and stuff, but we'd be here forever.
Okay. I think we should enough at E3, so...
Yeah, so final thoughts. Sony basically dominated.
Yeah.
Sony curbs on Nintendo.
What?
Sorry, Microsoft.
Yeah,
Bring it up
it was
right now,
basically Nintendo was the innocent bystander, while Sony was the mass murderer of the Xbox.
I still like to think of that image, this GIF image that someone made. Like, it's like featuring a bunch of the characters from Men in Black putting on their sunglasses, and there's like this guy putting on his glasses representing Microsoft, and it just hurts his eyes so badly. That's basically
it's like
yeah. That's pretty much.
There were a lot of gifts about that.
Yeah.
Pretty much exploded.
Yeah,
they're still coming.
Not to mention the video Sony released.
Oh my god, how could we not mention that? Before we end our E3 discussion, around the time the Sony conference ended, they released a YouTube video about how to share your games on PlayStation 4. And it had Shu Yoshida and the Jack Swagger guy, as we're calling him. So it just had this like long thing that said step up, sharing, step 1, sorry, sharing the game. And then it just had Shu Yoshida passing the game to the other guy. And he said thanks, and that was it. That was one of the best videos they've ever done.
It has millions of views, so...
In a relatively short time span.
Oh.
What?
We should probably mention that Amazon poll that happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh god, you do that.
Because it's one thing if this was like a Sony site or a Microsoft site that had skewed results, but Amazon video games on Facebook, and now, Amazon's considered like a relatively neutral party in this. And they have this thing called Amazon Versus that they do on that section to see like who favors like one video game or one console over the other. And they did this for PS4 and Xbox One. And the results were so skewed that the poll closed 3 days early. Here is the final vote count. Xbox One 2,162. PlayStation 4 38,984. That's almost 95% of the vote.
Yeah, I wonder why Microsoft was so desperate with sending representatives to Nintendo booths, E3, at Best Buys and such.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Be a miracle for damage control for them.
Probably dig in their grave. But, is that everything for E3?
More or less.
Alright, so can we finally move on?
To what? Like the questions?
Yes.
Fewer questions.
We still have to do, yes.
Our first question. Aka go!
That's gonna be a
that.
thing, isn't it?
We might as well go with what he's calling this. Akago's Anonymous. Which upcoming games are you looking forward to the most? And are there any games on your wish list you've always wanted to own but have never been able to get so far?
Shoot. I guess we should just answer the first one. Get that out of the way first.
Yeah, let's all just answer the first half. And then we'll go around again for the second one. Because I need time to think about that one.
For me, it's more or less a lot of the stuff that was kind of announced at E3. I mean, that's such a pretty appropriate question for this podcast if you think about it. Like, I got nothing really specific to look forward to, just because I already have like a backlog of like games that came out past a while that I still need to get anyway. So it's like, just like, if it looks good, I'll just get it. That's basically it. Eventually, hopefully. Unless you guys have anything specific to look forward to.
I don't think I do.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Sure.
In terms of games that I'm looking forward to, Shin Megami Tensei 4, as I mentioned before. What else? Project Cross Zone, Tales of Exalia.
Oh yeah.
See, and we're sticking to games that have yet to be released. Those are the top one of the games on top of my head. I know there's more, but I have a feeling that like those are the three games that come to my mind. So I'm just gonna leave it at those games. And ironically, they're all JRPGs.
I'll go ahead and go next because my list is one game long. X.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I take that back. There's two. Sorry. The new Guilty Gear game.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that too. Oh yeah, and there's also Blaze Blue and the new Blaze Blue adaptation.
For me, I don't know. I could say Mario Kart, but I don't know.
Why can't I carry all these upcoming games?
Like, I just can't think of one off the top of my head that I'm,
Looking forward to.
really looking forward to. I don't know. PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
I know it's not a game, but I'm looking forward to an actual console, the PlayStation 4, more than any games right now. So, I know that's not really an exact answer, Rockago, but that's all I can really say.
I guess I could look forward to the most of getting a Wii U finally, and then having a bunch of games for it, especially the ones that are coming up for that, at least. For me, anyway.
Is it okay to say I really, really want to play Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem so badly?
I think it's a given since she mentioned Shin Megami Tensei quite often.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to the next question that they asked.
Yeah.
Games that are on your wish list that you always wanted to own. Actually, I think I can answer with one game right off the top of my head, and that's Snatcher for the Sega CD.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck getting that for like less than $200. But it's still something I would hope to eventually get one day on the system. But I have the Sega CD, so it's like, yeah, I should at least try to one day.
I have two that I could throw out there. One is the Arc the Lad games, and two, the Lunar games.
Let's see. I'm looking at my Steam wish list, and I can get all these games right now if I want to, but I'm just too lazy. But if we're talking like games like that, it's like so hard to get that you just want. It's this Japanese fighting game that's in arcades, but it's a game I want to play. It's called Under the Night in Birth, I believe it's called. It looks so great. I want to play it so badly. Like it's developed by the same people that did my favorite Japanese only game called Melty Blood, and I'm like 2 this does give me a Melted Blood vibe, so I want it. Another game. What was that one game I forget, but I guess I could just mention one game on my Steam list, RPG Maker, but it's so expensive, and I'm like, ugh. Maybe eventually I'll get it, but not right now. And that's it for me.
I'm just gonna mostly go by physical copies. Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound. Yeah. Look at all those super expensive.
That's on everyone's wish list except for the CR.
Yeah. Those are just a couple. Those are the main ones that I really want to get.
Although with Earthbound, at least that's coming on the Wii U Virtual Console.
But I'm going by physical copies.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So, yeah, I guess those are my picks.
Let's move on to the next question. This is from Devilish5682, who asked, is there a good game that you guys regret playing? And also, what game did something to piss you off or turn you off so much you've never touched it since? I'm really not sure about that first question.
Yeah, is it a game that's regarded as good, but we just regret playing it?
Yeah, because the only games I regret playing are the ones that I hated.
Yeah, that's like a really hard question to think of.
I think I'm probably the only one that I could. I think I'm the only person that can actually answer the first question.
I think I got an answer, but you go on first.
Dark Souls.
Okay. Let's see. A game I consider good that I regret playing.
That's a hard question. If that's the context we're going with.
I want to say, can I just outright say the Borderlands games? Like, it's because of how I feel towards like Gearbox, but yet it kind of taints my my view of how I see Borderlands. Like, I really enjoyed the first Borderlands for what it was. I love the open world exploration, but not to go in too deep in it. But due to like some controversy of what happened in all recent memories, especially with Alien Colonial Marines and all that stuff and what they did, I just can't bring myself to enjoy anything Gearbox related, and it just makes me feel like I probably would have been better off if I didn't play Borderlands, despite the fun times I had with it. So it's a bit of a minor regret. That's like the only game that I can think of it to answer your question.
I think I do have one that sort of fits that question, and that's Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh yes.
I do enjoy the game, but I regret playing it because several months after they released the Ultimate version.
Yeah,
so it's just like well, technically my brother got the game, but at the same time, it's like if we just waited a little while, we could have just got the more updated version, basically.
To get the updated version to this day. Like, it's like I keep it as a reminder to tell me don't buy any more fighters from Capcom. Well, I'm kind of like
Not
that.
The first version right away, anyway.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, I ended up buying the special edition. So yeah, $70 wasted. I hope you enjoy those $70 a-holes. But yeah, but thanks for reminding me of that. That's like one. I mean, I still mildly enjoy the game. It's still fun to play, but I regret buying it and sort of playing it when I could have just, if I waited, I could have gotten like a slightly more updated version. Then I could have probably been playing as Phoenix Wright.
Well, in this context, I really don't have an answer for that. So, I mean, I guess my answer would be no. There is no good game that I regret playing. However, there is a game that did something to piss me off so much that I've never touched it since. And I believe I've told some of you guys the story before. BioShock. You know,
what is it?
Oh, I know.
BioShock is a game where I love the presentation, and I was starting to get into the story, and I was still playing through it even though the gameplay was kind of meh. But I got to this one point. It's when you start doing shit for Sander Cohen, like going after people and taking pictures of their bodies, and then you go into this room where all the pictures are going up on the wall, and it's the one point where Sander Cohen goes nuts and a bunch of splicers go into the room after you. My game auto-saved somewhere in that room, and then all the doors shut and you had to fight off the splicers, and I kill everything, and nothing happens. And I'm going all around the room looking for like a switch or something I can trigger to move on to the next part. I was stuck inside that room and there was no way to get out of it.
So
And to make matters worse, because of the autosave, I couldn't load back out of it and then do the sequence again. I would have to start the entire game over. And that just completely turned me off from the game.
If I recall, you have an old video where you just took everything, gathered everything, and set it on fire.
Yeah, I just gathered everything into the room in this big ass pile, and then just used the pyro power on it to set everything on fire. And that was the last thing I ever did in BioShock.
Never again.
Okay, for me, that's kind of a difficult question because sometimes I play a game for a bit but then stop playing it and haven't touched it since. But not necessarily because I got mad or turned me off, but there are games that have done that to me. The one I can think off the top of my head was Star Ocean Till the End of Time. It was more or less just like a point where I just got completely fed up with the game and its pacing and its really contrived anime story and characters. So I'm just like, no, I'm not playing this anymore. And to this day, I still have not played it again.
Why do I
forget really was in the game. I think I was like at least 20 hours in or something like that. And it was what I think what fed me up the most was that I was stuck on this, medieval planet for like so long. I'm just like, this game is about going to different worlds and stuff, right? I'm stuck on this medieval planet, just meandering along, doing all these tasks for these people, and it's like, you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and you gotta do this, then you gotta talk to these dragons, and then the dragons need something, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
I have a couple of some odd experiences. I'm not sure if this answers the question, but I rented this game called Cross Edge. I played 10 minutes of it. I get it. It was on the PS3, and I know it wasn't going to be like, on par with like, lots of games, but it just looked really bare minimum. It's like, couldn't this game been like a downloadable title? But ultimately, I did not like the presentation at all. The voice acting turned me off. The character dialogue was like so bad. I was like cringing. It's like, and then the battle system didn't make any matters any better. And it was like, what the hell am I playing? And it's like, I was so confused and yet so disgusted at the same time with the presentation. It's like, I just returned the game to gameplay immediately. It's like, I don't want to touch this game ever again. I tried out the first Xenosaga. I got so bored playing it, I never touched it again. I ended up giving it to a friend of mine, my copy, since I paid like $2.50 at a pawn shop. I think that's about it. I'll just leave it at those two experiences, and they were ironically JRPG experiences.
I can't think of a game without being unfair to it in terms of the question. Because I can name a few, but if I name a few, there's a couple I can name that I just haven't touched because I've been like lazy. But in terms of actually starting and stopping, though, I can't think of one without sounding like a pompous douchebag.
Well, we probably already pissed off JRPG fans anyway, but with me saying Star Ocean.
Yeah, I probably pissed off people.
I don't think anyone likes Till the End of Time anyway.
I think I pissed off.
No, there are people that do.
Saga.
I think I've already pissed off BioShock fans.
I don't know. I can't think of any. I would say Fire Emblem Awakening, because I just gave up. Because I just can't play the game right, clearly. I just stopped playing.
wasn't there like a game that you rented from GameFly that?
Oh, I guess I can say this. This is going way back. Way back, I rented America's Army for the Xbox. So, I played for about what felt like 2 minutes. I played the tutorial. After I played the tutorial, I fucking said, nope, I'm done with this game, and put it back in the mailbox. That was my fastest rental I've ever had. I gave up after the tutorial. I'm like, why did people tell me to play this game? Like, Griff told me to rent it because he was playing it, but it was terrible. I just gave up playing that quickly.
What's so bad about the tutorial level?
Oh, I can barely remember.
He said after the tutorial.
No, yeah, like, ugh.
But yeah, that's like an army game that's like realistic, and if you get shot once, you're pretty much dead, right?
I think it wasn't very handled very well.
I don't know.
So we still got
Alright, well,
more questions.
we still have questions from the Opox. And his questions are, number 1, I'm just going to do these one at a time, and then, yeah. Do you have a game that you like, but everyone knows it's crap, but you like it anyway? I'd like to amend that and replace the word knows it's crap with thinks it's crap.
Because games are still subjective.
So I guess it's like a bad game that you just kind of have a soft spot for.
Yeah. I guess with me, it's Castlevania 64.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's actually kind of mixed with people and how, whether or not it's good or bad, but I've recently played through it, and it does have its fair share of problems, but I still kind of liked it for what it was.
Can I go?
Sure.
I know the easy target is Duke Nukem Forever, but I'm gonna skip that. I'm instead gonna say Haze. That's one that wasn't really received well, but I thought was actually not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, we even played co-op it and then got until our game froze.
Smallville, no.
But other than that, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. That's what I basically. That's all I've got really.
I got one. Splatterhouse, the remake.
Yes, I would totally agree too.
Yeah, it wasn't very received well, but yet I saw the Happy Video Game Nerds review of it, and it intrigued me to actually get it, and I actually tried a little bit of it. I like it. I mean, yes, it's not like AAA quality or whatnot, but I love the style to it. Like, I thought the game looks really amazing for its atmosphere. Like, it captures the imagery of the Splatterhouse games actually pretty damn well. And not to mention, you got Jim Cummings voicing the mask. I mean, I can't say no to that. And you get all the Splatterhouse games by unlocking them. So it's like Splatterhouse the Ultimate Collection. It's like, this is such an overlooked package. It's like, it doesn't deserve hate.
Yeah, man, I played through the game and I enjoyed it.
Alright, this is a video game that I first saw actually from an old RMAC video. And then I figured, I don't know about this, I'll check it out. And then I actually ended up really liking it, which stunned me because I found like very little positivity around this game. But on the 360, Monster Madness Battle for Suburbia. And it's basically like, it's like a B horror film in video game form. It's actually very reminiscent of me, for me to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, except on a more... No, it's not more out there, but almost as out there as Zombies Ate My Neighbors. On a similar note, do you have a game that is underappreciated and people should play or at least give it a try?
I'm gonna need some time on this one.
I need some time to think.
I'll throw one out right away. On the N64, Body Harvest.
Oh, yeah.
It's a game where you're this guy from the future, a soldier, where this alien race of insect-like beings has taken over, and you travel back in time to various points of their invasion of Earth to try and fight back the invasion, and you go back to like Greece in the 1910s, or like America in the 1950s, and all these different places, and you like prevent them from being able to set up nests and eat people to like spawn more insects, and it can be a really stressful game at times, but at the same time I really enjoyed it. Still though, those kids were dumbasses, because there's this one part where you have to use an ice cream truck to lead some kids away from the aliens, and I just could not get some of them to follow the ice cream truck.
Maybe they thought you were Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, in terms of like, I guess underappreciated games, I kind of want to say some of the Silent Hill games, at least the ones that came out after like 4, because while I do understand that they're not quite as good as some of the older Silent Hills in terms of their, I guess, story and atmosphere, but in terms of like gameplay and I guess just the general ideas they had going for them, they're actually not too bad. I mean, granted, games like Homecoming and Book of Memories, I probably wouldn't really recommend that much. But in terms of like Downpour, especially, I feel that's a little bit underappreciated, just because it's like they know they can't really go past the high bar that was set in the older games in terms of like, you know, their story and atmosphere and what they had going for. But at the same time, I feel like they were like at least still enjoyable games in the series to play through. So I just feel that fans are just a tad bit too strict on the new games, but at the same time I still kind of understand it. I mean, well, it's sort of like me with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts as well. It's like people are like really not agreeing with the direction that game went, but at the same time I'm just like, I understand, but I do kind of like what the new stuff they try to do, sort of, in a way. But with Silent Hill, I'm leaning more towards the good, at least, with most of the new games that came out recently.
I would say all the other SMT games besides Persona, because as a big fan of the series, if there's one thing that kind of bothers me, it's like, I think Persona is like always taking the spotlight all the time, and it just kind of annoys me just to a certain extent. It's like, I think some interesting things have been done with other SMT games that the Persona games have never done. And I kind of would wish like people would actually try the Raito Kuzunoa games, except because the difference between that game is that it's, instead of being like turn-based, it's actually, you know, an actual combat system, kind of like, you know, than saying a beat 'em up.
Real time?
Yeah. And it actually really intrigued me. It's like, it made me feel like I had to be on the defensive. I actually had to quickly react to things. I had to, you know, think what to do. And actually, in fact, you can actually, you know, before every battle starts, you can actually, you know, think of like which monsters will help aid you, whatever. It's like you can like prepare yourself in every battle. So it's not like the battle just rushes in there like immediately, and then once you're prepared, then you start fighting. And I like that. So, and I could go on and on about it, but it's just, my point is, I would like for, you know, Persona fans to at least play the other SMT games, especially Devil Survivor, because Devil Survivor is actually going on to me. I felt that Tales of Grace's F felt really underappreciated because due to its really bad sales, and Poppy told me that it was considered to be the worst selling Tales game, and that just kind of made me
well, poor sales for a Tales game over here is kind of like sort of expected, a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
Tales is still pretty niche here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like for people to actually give Tales of Grace's F a chance.
Or any Tales games, for that matter.
Yeah. How are people appreciating Ni no Kuni here, at least?
I don't know. I imagine it is the, you know, there. I mean, it was received well, at least. I mean,
I could. There's also a bunch of other Japanese obscure games, but I'm just gonna leave it at Tales and the S&T titles.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I have an answer to this question. I'm sorry.
Well, if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
Well, if I just want to list one thing, I guess Retro Game Challenge could be underappreciated because it didn't sell that well over here. But it's actually really good. So that's all I got. I could list others, but I just can't think of it right now.
Alright, well, that brings us to his final question. What's the possibility Akago will not ask a question on this podcast? 0.
0%. Alright, thank you.
Unless he disappears off the face of the earth, then probably not.
And that does it for viewer questions. If you have a question you want to ask us, feel free to ask it in the comments section of the YouTube upload. You can ask us on the site, or you can ask us on Facebook, facebook.com/RiverCityGamers. I hope that URL is right. Now, video updates. I'll go ahead and do mine because it's going to be very short. Nothing has changed. I'm still working on something. At least Bug Island is out of the way now. That's over and done with. I'm done. Somebody else talk.
For me, just same projects as usual. It's slowed down due to all of the things that's been happening recently. So I think I may need to take a break, like a much longer break, because of just everything that's been happening recently. It's just been way too hard on me. So don't expect much from me.
Nothing has really changed aside from, scripting, I guess. I did a little bit of scripting, but it's not so much, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now.
Okay, and I guess that just leaves me then. I've actually just finished recording game footage for the next Black City interview, and it's going to be the one that basically won the voting for the next review. So you'll get to see which one will come out first out of those. And right now I'm working on the script for that. So that should be out sometime the next few weeks, at least 2 or 3 weeks anyway, hopefully. And I'm still going to be working on the next They Made a Sequel after that too. So I'm basically just going to keep alternating between Black City interviews and They Made a Sequel and just keep doing that. And that's it for my video updates.
And I believe that does it for this podcast as well. I'm SDXCR.
I'm Unreal.
I'm Blanco Gamer.
I'm ShadowSnake123.
And Microsoft is doomed.
Yes, this storm that I'm actually starting to get where I live is pretty much a foreboding sign for them, isn't it?
Yep. Microsoft, it was good while it lasted, but hope we can find something else to do other than gaming.
We don't know that exactly until they actually launch the system. Then we'll see what happens.
But what else could they possibly do? That is all Microsoft does is Xbox, right?
They do computers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everyone loves Windows 8, right?
Yeah.